Quiet on the set.
Copy that. Pull out a little bit. Let's see the Madden NFL logo.
Sound.
2 and 1. Roll. Face.
Here we are live here in Southern California.
Some people are built, some ain't.
I'm at a loss of words. I don't even know what to say.
Esports has really exploded, and what that has created is just this appetite to watch people play video games.
Wow!
Madden NFL football continues to grow, and we're back and better than ever here in the MCS, where we'll have our 4 majors, we'll be crowning our 4 champions. There's money to be made, there's glory to be had.
One more to the legend.
Go young kid.
This is where the best Madden players are made.
Live in a brand new studio at EA headquarters.
We are at the home of Madden NFL football here in San Francisco, California.
It's amazing to see how fast competitive gaming is growing.
I'm here on ESPN2.
We have a partnership with EA. Let's attract our core NFL fan and introduce him or her to gaming content.
There's no telling how far it's going to go.
It means a lot to play Madden and have friends.
Listen up, young man. You've earned it.
This is what competitive Madden's all about.
Like literally everyone, just sit there for a second.
Welcome to Arlington. We have the best players in the world in the house. 512 registered players. You gotta fight them all live.
Look at the emotion!
Unbelievable.
Look at the savagery!
For the belt, Serious Mo is back at the top of the mountain. This is that time of year. This is my Christmas.
Seahawks fans, Madden fans, it's time to get this virtual party started. From in-game to in-studio, 4 Madden hopefuls have made their way to the EA Broadcast Center and take their shot at making the Seahawks roster as their only rep in the next Madden Major. It's the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. Who will make the final cut and take home the belt? Close to 700 miles from Seattle in the Great Northwest, it's the EA campus, home to some of the most popular video games in the world. The city of Seattle, familiar with the tech world just a little bit, but tonight our attention is turned to the Seattle Seahawks and crowning their Madden champion. And we welcome you inside the EA Broadcast Center to the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. Well, hello there. Evan Rayner here. This evening, we continue our extensive tour through the NFC West with our spotlight turning to the Seattle Seahawks. Pleased to be joined by the defending Madden NFL 19 Club champion, Pavan, and the voice of Madden football, Scott Cole himself. Fellas, how are we feeling going into this tournament?
I'm ready to watch some great football, and hopefully we get a great matchup at the end, finals matchup.
Well, I mean, come on now. You got the Seattle Seahawks. They've been such huge Madden fans and supporters. I mean, the 12th man up there. This is an organization that does it the right way. And anytime they show us some Madden love, it's always been special up in Seattle.
A lot of class here throughout from Seattle. We appreciate them. So let's get to it. Here it is. And here's where we stand. We're down to 4 players in 2 semifinals. In the first semi, it's Croft taking what many of us believe is the greatest name in esports. It's Swabby Form. Ladies and gentlemen, later in the second semifinal, a name the Madden community knows well, major winner Young Kiv, who will face Jadami, looking for an upset. Fellas, which of these 4 players are you keeping a close eye on tonight?
For me, it would have to be Kiv, the winner from last year. I'm thinking, he's thinking of a repeat win. And we all know how great his offense is, but today I'm going to be looking out for how he plays defense against his 2 matchups.
All right.
Kiv's strong, but for me, it's Croft. I mean, that's the guy I want to see. He's the big fella. I mean, he's like 7'3", not really, but he's a guy that's got so much talent. Finally, just kind of working his way through. He just needs a break. I assume we're going to see Young Kiv and Croft in the final.
Should be very competitive as well. A lot of these players are passers. We're excited to see how they approach this game since it's down to the last 4. So we are down 2-4, as we mentioned, but it was not easy getting to this point. The journey began months ago, and who better to break it down than the GOAT, our very own RG.
In the year of the NFL blowing out 100 candles, the Madden NFL Club Championship has never had better numbers. This year, an eye-popping 75,454 competitors signed up to participate to represent one of the 32 NFL clubs. Even by my standards and love of Madden, that's amazing. The journey began back in late July. Competitors jockeyed an online ladder play to secure position on one of 2 leaderboards, MUT Salary Cap Ranked and the Weekend League. In early October, the deadline closed for signing up for the club championship. A week later, 16 invitations were offered to players from each of the 32 clubs based on their finish. 8 for those who prefer playing on Xbox, and 8 for PS4. That's 16 players fighting for the right to represent each of the 32 clubs, giving us 512 players at the start of the club online elimination. Those 16 Madden grinders at each club then competed in a double elimination tourney online. From that, 4 players emerged, 2 Xbox and 2 PS4, giving us our final 4 for each NFL team and trimming the field at large down to 128. The final 4 at each club became set to battle to be called their club's champion and punch one of 32 tickets to the main draw of the Madden Major in late December. And that, my friends, is how they got here.
Thank you, RG. Here's our format tonight. The top seed of Xbox faces the lower seed of the PS4 pool and vice versa. We are playing MUT Salary Cap, so the importance of roster building cannot be over-exaggerated. The prize pool guarantees $6,500 to the winner and a chance to win $100,000. That's right, in the NFL Club Championship in late December. A lot of money on the line. Also at stake, the Seahawks have added some major incentive to the eventual champion with a custom-made Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks championship belt. The Hawks have done this in the past, and it's beginning to become a tradition for their club championship. Incredible support there, and that belt, fellas, looks good.
Oh, yeah. That belt looks icy, I guess you could say.
Did you make the wrong decision? Should you have gone for the Seahawks, Bob?
Just off that belt, maybe.
Just maybe. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's an honor to obviously represent these clubs, but it's nice, like you were mentioning, Scott, as well, to see the integration.
Well, the Seahawks were one of our original 8 teams when it came to the club championship. And, I mean, that tells you they've been there since day one. And not only were they involved, but K-Mike won the whole thing back, back in Madden 17. So there's big shoes to fill. And, we take our belts pretty personally around the MCS. So we're cool with the Seahawks giving out a belt, and it's sweet.
It's sweet. These guys have a lot to play for, definitely. All right, before we get to our first semifinal, the Seahawks, like we said, are always very involved in their club championship. Tonight, no exception. Recently, 2 popular Hawks took time to shout out to our semifinalists before doing battle.
What's up, man? It's Tyler Lockett
and Quandre Diggs.
And we just want to say congratulations on being able to make it this far. But before you could be a Seahawks champion in the Madden 2020, you got to take care of the semifinals and you got to take care of the finals. Can't win in the first 3 quarters, but you sure can win it in the 4th quarter. And we just want to say, give it all that you got, man, and leave it all on the field. Well, in this case, leave it all on the video game. Good luck to y'all.
Good luck.
How cool is that? I mean, Bobin, what is it like to have actual NFL players talking to you like that, like best friends, wishing you, that could have gone to your iPhone in a video message, say, good luck, buddy, on the weekend, call me later.
If you get to see that, that just gives you a whole, wow, I've seen this guy on TV. This could be used as extra motivation, like he's cheering me on kind of type of thing.
Yeah.
We've done some charity work in the past with the Seahawks and Madden with Doug Baldwin, things like that, and they've just been so not only charitable but hospitable to everyone in the community. So to have guys on their team actually shout out and truly care about the outcome here tonight, that's cool.
Yeah. All right, let's do this, fellas. We got our first semifinal coming up here. It is going to be D. Croft versus Swampy Fork, a name for the ages. Well, his game back it up. That's what Scott and Pavin are going to find out on the call pretty soon. But as we mentioned, Seattle Seahawks Club Championship fighting for a spot in the final now in our first semi. It's D. Croft, it's Swampy Fork, and it's Scott Cole.
Yeah, just semifinal number 1. We got a lot of good Madden around the corner here in the Seahawks Club Championship, and there is D. Croft. As I mentioned, he tried to make a run in this tournament a year ago. Hey, hi, Mom. At home, he's won $2 grand in this tournament last year, and he's just 19 years old. This is the guy that I mentioned. He's really just getting started.
Yeah, 19 years old, same age as me. You know, we're both on the come up, I could say it. I love his fun fact. I love Madden, as do I.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with that. Swampy Fork on the other side. Met him backstage before coming out. This is the guy that surely thinks he can pull an upset here tonight. This is his best finish ever. You see him around 500, a little bit below 500, but he's caught fire as of here late. He's made a great run through the losers bracket to have an opportunity, including beating K-Mike, who won this event twice. So we got to find out what rosters these guys are rocking with. Nick, Mo, what do you got?
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. I'm over here with the two-time belt winner, Serious Mo, and we're going to take a little deep dive into these guys' salary cap rosters, starting out with D. Croft. We know D. Croft, he loves to move the ball offensively, as most of you guys do, but D. Croft, he's got a lot of respect for his offense. What do you see from his lineup?
I see a pretty balanced attack. He's got Bo Jackson, but it's a lower cap Bo Jackson, only 36 cap. And then he's going to be using Christian McCaffrey. I assume he's going to be using him at tight end in that U-trips formation in the New England playbook. Good tackles, bad guards, decent center. I like his offense for the way he plays. I think it's going to work out well for him.
Yeah, certainly not that traditional tote gang offense as we take a look at the defensive side of the ball, led right in the middle by the big man, Fletcher Cox.
And that's actually the first thing I noticed on the defense. We don't see a lot of people spending cap on their defensive tackles, and it looks like he's going to be doing that. So I'm interested to see how that works out for him and what he's able to do. But one thing I do see is he has no linebackers at all. He has Brian Burns and Montez Sweat. I think they're both 17 cap, not very good.
So we take a look at D. Croft's abilities, some ones we haven't seen. Fletcher Cox using that power specialist.
Yeah, power specialist is a really good chem. I like to chem it up with another power specialist or edge rusher, but I'm interested to see how Fletcher Cox works out just by himself. Obviously, that secure tackler, Troy Polamalu, is a staple. We've seen that on a lot of teams.
Now, D. Croft is certainly a name that the people at home know, but Swampy Fork is looking to make a name for himself. We've seen some upsets over the day today. Let's take a look at his offense. Don't know too much about what he's going to do, but he's led at quarterback by Phillip Rivers.
Absolutely. Phillip Rivers, kind of a budget beast, but that Clinton Portis, best running back in the game right now, in my opinion. And as we see, I think he's going to be trying to run the ball. He's got a lot of run blocking offensive linemen. Jonnu Smith, another budget beast, 15 cap. If you're looking to not spend at tight end, Jonnu's a great option.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Dan Deerdorfs at right tackle. Love to see it as we take a look at the defensive side of the ball. Look at that mop on Kevin Green.
I've never seen anybody use Kevin Green in this game, not even on Mutt. So I'm interested to see what he does. I'm assuming he's going to be stuffing the run game, but D. Croft, I don't think we'll see him running the ball a lot. That Ty Law, Mutt captain's one of the best corners in the game, in my opinion.
And of course, the Mutt Hall of Famer, Troy Hapke, as we look at the abilities that Swampy Fork's going to be using today. And no surprise, Clinton Portis, jukebox.
Absolutely, and we also see Phillip Rivers with that hot route master. That just tells me he's an Oakland playbook. That's what you have to have if you're an Oakland playbook. You have to have that hot route master. And once again, we see Troy Polamalu again, that 41 cap Troy Polamalu that everybody has with a secure tackler. Best card in the game probably for salary cap.
Should be an interesting watch as Swampy Fork looks to make a name for himself, but who you like in this game?
I got to go with D. Croft. You know what I mean? He's been here before. He's somebody that you just expect to win. You know what I mean? He just hasn't been able to put it together. Phenomenal player, one of the best offensive players in the game. So I expect him to win.
Scott?
Well, they're going to have to prove it on the field. And I tell you what, I wouldn't count out old Swampy Fork because he had to go through the losers bracket to be able to get here. Anytime you got to put together 4 wins in a row to have an opportunity to fight. And he's going to have a chance here against D. Croft, Pavin. And as Bo mentioned, this is going to be a tough out. D. Croft is really good.
Oh, yeah. I played D. Croft multiple times last year. He gave me really good trips tight end reps, and that's what was very popular at the time. One thing I want to say, though, is don't count out Swampy Fork all yet. He came up to me and told me that he would beat me on the online ladders.
Well, there you go. And here we go. Live from Virtual CenturyLink, home of the 12th man. Let's kick it off. It is the Seattle Club Championship. And they've had some good ones over the years, and I'm expecting this to be a great night of Madden football. Of course, the previous winners, talked about K-Mike winning it all back in Madden 17. He actually won back-to-back. And then young Kiv finally got it done. Lost the K-Mike so many times. Finally moved on to represent his favorite club.
Yeah, I know he probably just felt all the relief in the world after winning that.
The funny thing is, a lot of these guys, when they lose their club, they want to look for another club. Like, all right, it's just not working. He's like, no, I'm from Seattle, man. I'm going to make this happen. So we'll see young Kiv a little bit later on. And, of course, D. Croft battled it out in the semifinals in the same club a year ago. So a lot of Seahawks fans tuning in. And, of course, we're going to find out who is going to make it to the final. Will it be D. Croft? Will it be Swampy Fork? I had no idea how you generate that name. That might have been the one on PlayStation that it just generates for you.
Yeah, the auto-generated name, gamer tags, yeah.
Swampy Fork, 5-4 all-time in the MCS. Played in Tampa Bay's club championship a year ago, and certainly trying to turn his fortunes. Of course, D. Croft, 12-5. He's put about $4,000 in his pocket playing the game of Madden since last year. Started off in the Madden 19 Classic. That was his best finish, 33rd that day in Vegas, where I was like, this guy's got a future. I mean, I know he didn't get it done, but it's certainly D. Croft. It's going to be a name that it's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10. Starting off at the 28-yard line. D. Croft's going to start with a football and buckle up. 12th man in effect. Of course, they'll set all their audibles. They got their depth charts set as well.
We'll probably see a gentleman's agreement. All these audibles, you know, respectfully decline the first delay of game. I've done this. A lot of people do this. It's just a part of the game kind of now.
I saw Christian McCaffrey on that opening kick return. We haven't seen a lot of him.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best spinners, jukers. He does not have jukebox on him, but he could still juke you out of your socks.
What abilities do we need to watch for?
I would say Stephon Diggs has a slot apprentice, which basically gives you more routes in the slot. Post route, corner route. I use that as well. Just be on the lookout for that. As you see it lighting up already.
Already lighting up on the left side. Yes, sir. Scott Cole Pavin along with it. Of course, Pavin won the whole thing last year. They swing it outside to Cooks. Nice click on and a catch. Gain of 4.
Yeah, starting off slow, but one thing I could remember from D. Croft and the people he play, they love the short routes, short out routes, short hitches. They play very patient on offense.
Used to seeing a lot of running. Get ready to see the ball get in the air as Bo Jackson doesn't go anywhere. They're going to give him a yard here. Going to be 3rd and 5. Opening minute of the ball game. It's Trufant coming up on the tackle.
Looks like he's sending some heavy pressure once again. Oh, he backs him up.
Rodgers this time gets it to Christian McCaffrey, but he can't get away from Troy Polamalu. And here comes 4th down.
This is already a big play early on in the game.
And there's no hesitation. He is not going to bring out the punter. He is going for it on 4th and 4.
I would honestly think about it, but yeah, the way he came out in his play so quickly, oh, there's a timeout. But
and I think that's going to be Swampy. Yeah. He's going to take a timeout here to
not a bad
think this over.
Not a bad timeout, especially if he messed a few of his adjustments up.
See Sammy Watkins in the slot. Aaron Rodgers is in the gun. He's got the 12 on. Very appropriate here in Seattle, and he's going to go down the field to Brendan Cooks. Apke won't catch him. Touchdown, D. Croft.
You heard him say got him twice. That's something I like to say when I know I got someone beat deep, and he from right there, I did not see him. He saw him, and that's all that mattered.
Well, he came out through 3 straight short routes, and then a bombzo.
Yeah, on 4th and 4 too.
That is a backbreaker for Swampy, who thought he might be getting the ball. And here he is on the kick return. Grant can't get away from Moore. And that's where Swampy will start. Look at this again, Pavin.
Yeah, you could see he got clicked on Vita Vea. Usually you want Vita Vea either rushing the passer or stuffing the run, right? Not as a user.
Got him. Let's go. Come on.
And maybe that was the first got him when he saw that he got caught up on the line there. And D. Croft coming out firing here early, and now we got to see what Swampy's got on the offensive side of the ball, trailing by a touchdown.
Let's see if D. Croft is run D or not.
So Swampy Fork, the man from Pennsylvania, just 20 years old.
Something I already see is he has Troy Polamalu at middle linebacker. Something I like a lot.
Well, you know you might be facing a runner here in Clinton Portis. Can't get back to the line. Sheldon getting in there. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 11 from the 28-yard line.
Yeah, it is no fluke. Troy Polamalu at middle linebacker. That's lab work right there.
At some point, I got to get Donnie Moore's all-gamer tag team. Swampy Fork's got to be on it somewhere.
Portis just
like that.
did not care about Polamalu right there.
D. Croft calling that last 10-yard gain. Luck, but here's a 3rd and 1. Rivers at quarterback. You can hear those hot route adjustments firing off.
That's that hot route master.
And going up top. And Torrey Holt really kind of turned into a defensive back there.
Yeah, that ball was kind of just lobbed up there, and Torrey Holt did his best thing to just not prevent it from being an interception.
You love that play on 2nd and 1, but maybe not 3rd and 1. Now here's 4th down. Needs maybe a half a yard. Get to the 39. He's at the 38 and a half.
Grant right here.
He's going to the air.
Oh, everything looks bottled up.
He's going to throw it downfield.
Take it, let's go. Come on, flip away.
It looked like he had the corner out over the streak. The safety played the streak really well instead of the corner out. The corner out would have been open at the last second, in my opinion.
Boy, you talk about you get on 3rd and 1 and you throw it downfield 2 times in a row.
Yeah, you got to get the first right there, especially if you have Clint Portis jukebox.
Especially just half a yard. That's a handoff and 1 juke. Probably fall forward for the 1st down. Nevertheless, it's a turnover on downs. And I think you're glad Darius Slay didn't pick that off. You get great field position. Rogers, quick throw, and there's Diggs taking it out at the 32.
Another out route, because probably going to see a lot of them today.
See if he brings the coverage up here on 2nd and 4. A little motion from Diggs over on the left side. You got Bo Jackson.
Brings him back inside.
Boy, all kind of time with that 40-second play clock to set up exactly what you need, but there's a free release from Kevin Green.
Yeah, that Kevin Green just came in screaming. He did have someone in the flat. I think that's who he was throwing to, but Kevin Green just wasn't having any of it.
You need Russell Wilson to get rid of it that quickly. It's Rodgers. Dead to rights back there. That'll bring up a 3rd and 12. A lot of adjustments at the line here for D. Croft. So much running meta.
Look for either Sammy Watkins or the post. And then he, of course,
threw it outside. It's going to be picked.
I did not like that.
But it looked like he had a guy coming across the inside.
Yeah, he should have waited maybe and just make the user choose between either the post or the in route. Trufant just made a really great play right there with his 90 zone.
That is exactly what Swampy Fork needed. 1st and 10 now, trailing by a touchdown, and he'll hand it off to Clint Portis. He's got some room. He'll get to the outside, shake a man before Troy Polamalu brings him down at the 46, and here's a hurry up.
Yeah, that last play, you guys probably saw Polamalu kind of like, I don't know, flinched a little bit. He hit RB trying to set up his run defense. I've done that a couple times, and it kind of takes you out the play. So whenever something like that happens, it's just really like, all right, I got to make a play and tackle him before something can happen.
There's 2 hurry-up offense. Picking up the tempo here for Swampy Fork after that big run. 2nd and 8. Rivers can't get rid of it. Sack him up at the 35.
Brian Burns, the rookie for the Panthers, having a pretty great year so far. 3rd and 20.
I've called a lot of competitive Madden over the last 5 years. The hurry up ain't it.
Yeah.
I have never seen the hurry up successful at a sustainable success. You can get somebody here and there every once in a while, but it's like a 1 or 2 time thing.
Honestly, this year might be the best year for the hurry up, though, because just how fast you get to the line compared to years prior.
You're right. A lot of guys didn't hurry up because it was easier to go through the play call screen to move up there.
This year, you get sent right back out there.
3rd and 20. You just limit your play calling when you hurry it up. It's like you and 4 plays. He needs 20.
He's in the 3-3-5. One of my favorite defenses of all time. Try to watch Fletcher. Oh, wow, Fletcher got pancaked.
And he'll drop it down to Harrison, and Marvin will pick up the first down.
That honestly hurts. A hitch that beats you on for a first down on 3rd and 20. His power specialist kind of fell to the ground.
Palomalu on the stop, but not before we move the chains at the 44-yard line. Positive territory here for Swampy Fork. Hands it off to Portis, cuts it back inside, and there's Cox coming over to help out with the stop, and here's the hurry up again. Portis will dot the I.
Troy P hugging that gap.
And he'll go outside, and Palomalu's got the speed to get out there, but he cuts it back with Portis, and that's going to be close to the marker, make it 3rd and 1.
Wonder if he passes right here, or he just does what he should have done in the first drive and just run the ball.
Maybe on the edge of field goal range. He'll go to the air.
Let's
and
go.
He does it. Had a little hitch route over there in the flat.
In the flats, yeah.
And that probably pushes him out of field goal range.
On those 3rd and 1s, just run the ball. You have to run the ball. Get that first. Move the chains.
He's going to try to angle this to the right corner. And it's going to mark it out at the 10-yard line. So,
honestly,
29-yard punt.
I would have went for that. He went for it on the first drive. What was that, 4th and 5? Yeah, I would have definitely have gone for that one.
So 1st and 10. D. Croft with the ball again, up by a touchdown. Bo Jackson's got a lane.
Oh my God, Daniel.
D. Croft with his famous stick work, almost trying to make a play right there.
He's talking to himself, old Daniel Mycroft.
How would you let this guy pass him?
You could hear it. He's mad that he didn't make him miss on that tackle.
2 minutes gone by here in the 2nd quarter. In a 7-0 ball game. Rogers swings it outside.
That was risky.
Clowney almost got a hand on it.
The Seahawk. The new Seahawk who's been...
Boy, did they make moves to pick up
for real.
Jadeveon Clowney, who's an absolute nightmare. And I mean that in the greatest way possible. Hands it off to Christian McCaffrey. He'll pick up the first down. Almost broke free.
When have we ever seen stumbling in this game?
The new feature stumbling had been added a few weeks back. No, I think that's a great move. I guess that happened right there.
T-Croft's got to make sure he stays within himself here.
Yeah, he's up 7-0. He just got to play his game, and yeah.
See if he decides to take this to the 2-minute warning. He thought about going down for a sip of the beverage, but he's going to try to get another playoff here. Rogers resets his feet, and there's Diggs, a diving catch at the 37, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, nice of him to get outside the pocket just so he could ensure that he made that throw.
How did an outside quarter?
And at the 2-minute warning, it's 7-0 in favor of D. Croft here in the Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. One of the most storied franchises that we have in the Madden Club Championship. I talked about them being one of the original 8 that were involved here in the club with K-Mike won it all the way back in Madden 17. It's a big deal to win the Seattle Club Championship. And there's Cooks once again. Apke can't get there. A little swag at the end for D. Croft.
No touchdowns.
And he's looking to go up 14-0.
Yeah, right there. I honestly thought Apke was going to pick that. Cooks is just too fast, and A-Rod just put the ball where it had to be. Another touchdown for Brandon Cooks.
He's probably thrown that route 1,000 times, but you thought Apke might get there.
Yeah, definitely did think that.
91 seconds to go in the half. And D. Croft now with a 2-score lead, and this is a lot of pressure on Swampy here to get points before the half. Grant spinning his way to the 30-yard line, and that's where the drive will begin. But look at this One more time, Pavin.
Same route as the one he scored on earlier. He beat the press, the cover 2 press, and Apke just couldn't get back there on time. Matter of milliseconds, I should say.
D. Croft from Washington. Big Seahawks fan. Looking to represent. All signs lead toward a D. Croft Young Kiv final. But we've seen a lot of crazy things happening in these opening weeks and days of the tournament.
Would love to see that rematch. They had an absolutely great game last year.
Well, he's shut out Swampy Fork so far, and he's used all his timeouts. 1:03 to go. Ball at the 36. He needs some positivity, some momentum, something good to happen here for Swampy Fork. Swampy flying all the way over from Pennsylvania. Trying to represent the Seahawks. Rivers, clean pocket. He'll throw it downfield. Harrison, no sir.
That's big Billy Slay, J.
It looked like he almost split the cover 2 shell, but maybe a bullet pass. Maybe Phillip Rivers' arm power just couldn't get the ball there. I definitely thought that looked a little open, but not with the lob, or not probably with Phillip Rivers.
That's big play Slay.
You could hear him saying big play Slay, one of the best corners in the league.
And now he's got an opportunity with 3 timeouts. Ball near midfield with 49 seconds to go here in the second. Rogers looking, firing. There is Diggs. Wrapped up at the 25 timeout. Here comes D. Croft.
That slot apprentice post is something else.
He is slanging it around the yard right now. Quickly dumps it off to Bo Jackson. Nothing there, and has to use a timeout.
Oh, you're getting too cute now.
Well said, D. Croft. Well said. 37 seconds to go now. Thought he was going to catch him napping with a little dump off to Bo. Ty Law on the tackle. And he'll run it here. And I think he just went ultra conservative right now. He's thinking about 3.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that play right there. Going up 17, 3 possessions, you know, when your opponent hasn't scored yet.
And he has no timeouts to stop it, so
not a bad.
D. Croft knows he can take it all the way down, call timeout, and kick this 44-yarder.
Yeah, there's no point in forcing anything. He's playing how he wants to play.
D. Croft certainly hasn't played flawless in this first half. But he's about to enjoy a 3-score lead right down Main Street, up, and it's good. 17-0. That look says it all.
That's the look that you get when you pass the ball on 3rd and 3s, 4th and 3s, instead of giving it to your jukebox running back. We saw what jukebox did for Clint Portis and Beast Mode Mac. Why not use it?
I tell you what, not only, I mean, you know, you love some aggressiveness, but it's also, especially when you got an offense that you know D. Croft can roll out there, just moving the change. For Swampy, he just needed to keep the clock moving.
Yeah, keep D. Croft's offense off the field.
This might be the drive of the game here early. Portis, there's that juke move. I mean, you know you're going to get a few, and that's what you're talking about there on those 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. And there you see Palomalu at linebacker, something Pavin said he loves.
Yeah.
Another thing I love, power specialist
That's
at
my
DT.
favorite player for a reason.
Pretty much getting, maybe you could call like an A gap right there.
Eventually, he's going to get in there. Fletcher Cox forcing all kind of pressure. This time he got caught on Cox. And he throws it to the outside, and it should have been picked, but Torrey Holt, what a grab.
Yeah. I don't know what happened right there. It looked like he kind of undercut his zone, and D-Cross defender kind of went dumbed out right there.
That's a user play. I mean, he clicked on to Torrey Holt to get underneath that coverage on the outside. Yeah, that was Ward just waiting there to pick it off. That'll extend the game. He got a little bit of life here, down 17-0. Got to string a few plays here. Rivers once again here for Swampy. Looking.
Seymour.
Over the top, it's Grant. Somehow hangs on at the 22.
I don't know who Seymour is, but I would not put him outside corner, so maybe that's, oh wow.
I don't think D. Croft wants to see more of Seymour out on the field for the rest of the ball game. 2nd and 17 after the sack. Let's hurry up, ain't it? Pushes them back to the 29. Rivers looking, firing. There's Grant once again out of the backfield. I'll take it down to the 17.
Pro tip is those wheel routes to the running back are very effective this year. You can make some route combos with Hot Route Master.
Let's go, come on.
You know, you could just get cheap yards to the running back and make a play with jukebox, armbar, all of that.
Got to kick the field goal here.
Yeah, definitely. Get some points on the board.
He's not even thinking about the field goal here, Poppin.
I do not like that.
We've seen some questionable decisions from Swampy Fork. He's going for it on 4th and 12.
In the strong close, I personally like this formation, but not on a 4th and 12.
He needs some K-Mike magic here in the club championship. Rivers will motion out Grant. Just take the delay of game and kick your 3, man. He'll go for it. Rivers. See if he has a dot. It's a knot. It's a turnover on downs, and here comes D. Croft once again. He'll have the ball at the 31.
I might have to look at that Brian Burns for salary cap. 3 sacks. I know he's pretty fast, so I'm going to take a look at his stats later on.
And that's really what it's all about. You get this $825 in salary cap. That's why you can't load up your team with a bunch of your favorite players. You'll be way over the cap. 1st and 10 for D. Croft. He's looking to put this game away. I think you might see the pass god of D. Croft put this thing on the ground for a bit.
Yeah, up 3 possessions, get out of this game, clock the game out.
He's got a lot of short, you even talked about that before the game started. He's got a ton of short routes he can run too that just probably similar and most effective as the running game.
Oh yeah, I can remember playing him last year. He did very similar like things, and I honestly made me kind of irritating to play, like just dink, dunk, dink, dunk, dink, dunk.
Pretty methodical last year from D. Croft, and he's looked good here in semifinal number 1.
Blitzed his safety right there, and it worked.
Got home Apke, and that'll push him back to a 3rd and 20. I guess Apke's not doing anything in coverage. Might as well send him.
Put him on the blitz. Send him.
They'll hand it off to Jackson, and boom.
You can see D. Croft trying to have some, great stick work. I don't know if this low cap Bo Jackson will allow him to do that, honestly.
What can you tell us about these players that we got coming up? You've talked a lot about young kid. What about his opponent?
Jadami, I think he's competed in Seahawks Club Madden 17. I think Kiv and Jadami matched up. I'm pretty sure Jadami is going to be running the ball a lot and running heavy Panther.
The crazy thing is Jadami, you're right, in Madden 17 he was a quarterfinalist, in 18 he was a semifinalist, came up short in the online last year, but what a test to him. He's back again here trying it for the 4th time to represent the Seahawks. That should be a good one coming up next.
Oh yeah, definitely.
17-0. 27 seconds left here in the 3rd. Swampy's got it back at the 14. Rivers, no sir.
Yeah, you can see the 2 contains at outside linebacker just keeping him in the pocket, and Swampy Fork doesn't, I guess, have the best pocket presence right now. He just keeps backing up into those contains.
7 sacks so far. Now he's in his end zone. Don't give up 2 points. He'll throw it away.
Burns wanted that one.
Let's head to the 4th quarter. 5 minutes remaining. D. Croft with a dominating 17-0 lead. 3rd and 18.
I didn't even realize this to now. I think he has Darnell Savage at the other middle linebacker spot.
And it is going to be a safety.
Brian Burns once again. Have a day, man.
4 sacks for Burns, including a safety. And this one's going to go out of bounds. They're going to mark that at the 49. That was I hate everything kickoff. I'm done.
Yeah, that's the check me out this game kick right there.
And here's Bo.
I want to see what he does.
Did he just call field goal block defense?
I'm not sure.
It was an engage 8, I think, at the 3-4 odd. Everyone.
That's the rage defense.
I'm sending everyone.
Yeah.
19-0, and there's the chew clock. Christian McCaffrey going to get a chance here to tote as Rodgers works up under center. A lot of folks in the community want to see D. Croft taking on young Kiv, and D. Croft has handled his end of the bargain. They put out a Twitter poll for all these club championships. 78% thought young Kiv would take home the belt. And Christian McCaffrey will score for D. Croft. CMC. And D. Croft's loving it.
A nice little stop and go right there. Nothing too special, nothing too fancy, but still got the job done very effectively.
Only 17% of the community thought that D. Croft might win and represent the Seahawks. They've had some good ones. Even in Madden 18, K-Mike made a great run all the way to Minnesota. Look at this again.
Little stop and go action right there. Troy P just couldn't make the tackle, neither could Troy Apke.
Back when Christian McCaffrey was in college, I went to the Rose Bowl. They played Iowa that day, and Christian McCaffrey went crazy. Of course, you know, he's a highlight reel anytime he gets out there. 2nd and 18.
We just saw that power specialist light up, just pushing his center back until, you know, he got that sack right there.
Clinton Portis averaging 4.3 a carry. Kind of felt like he bailed on Clinton too early.
Way too early. And like I said multiple times earlier, those 3rd downs, 4th and 1s, you know, give it to your best player. Give it to your best player. Let him make a play for you. Let him try to bail you out a little bit. Break a run, you know. Who knows how this game could have went if something like that happened.
If you like sacks, you're loving this game right now. Fletcher Cox now has 3 of his own. A couple hat tricks out there. 4th and 26. He's going for it. And we'll hit the 2-minute warning.
Oh.
You think D. Croft's that savage right now that he's just going to send the heat?
Yeah, from the play art I had just seen, he's sending everyone. I thought he was about to send his user too.
4th and 26. That would be Savage Jr.
I see what you did there.
Rivers can't get out of the end zone, and they're going to be a turnover on downs at the 1. I'm not sure which is worse. 11 sacks now, Pavin.
Could someone give me a SC number on Brian Burns? How much cap is he?
We got to know the Burns cap.
One more, kid. Finish now.
The 12's up for the 12-mans. They're going to knee it out here. This is actually pretty classy by D. Croft.
Yeah, this is pretty classy.
3rd and goal.
Hey, keep grinding, bro. You're good.
D. Croft is a classy player. You could hear him say keep grinding.
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen to the encouragement he's giving him.
Learn from it, bro. Seriously.
There's nothing you can do. You're good. I was getting shot.
There you see the daps.
Yeah, definitely.
D. Croft, 26-0. Doesn't have to. Not going to kick that field goal, of course. He runs out the clock here, kneels it down, and he is one step closer to being a part of the Seahawks maybe in December. He's going to have young Kiv to deal with, though, but of course Kiv's got to win his ball game too. So we got a good one coming up next. But look at that, all D. Croft, 26-0, dominant.
Yeah, D. Croft, like you said earlier, classy player. I always love seeing that good sportsmanship. And to Swampy Fort, keep your head up, keep grinding. You know, you made your first event. Keep, you know, you just got to learn from your mistakes.
Well, you see the score. Let's see how he got it done for D. Croft here in this first semifinal. I told you he was 7'3". As you see in that opening highlight, and boy, this was a change of the game here. It was 4th and 4, and he throws the bomb to Cooks.
Yeah, I mean, after that, it seemed like the game kind of was over as it was, because just all the momentum was on Croft's side. Just completed all his passes.
Here's that press coverage once again. This is not the first highlight that you saw, but it looks similar. Similar result. Cooks one more time.
Yeah, that stock coverage 2, he just learned how to bomb it, and then his coverage 2, cover 2, just picked that off.
I think that throw right there maybe came late. There was some moments in the game that we talked about, some 3rd and 1, some 4th and 1s, some gameplay and game time decisions that Swampy would certainly learn from, but it was the sack attack. There's a safety there. I mean, they were in the backfield all day long.
If there's something I would say is to watch your game again. I know you probably don't want to watch it again, but I always do that. Win or lose, I always go back and watch my games again.
What adjustments can you make just by watching those?
Like I said, those 4th and 3rd downs, 3rd and 4th downs, I should say, running the ball on those, just seeing what you could do better on certain plays, certain downs, and just overall just keep watching your game.
Yeah, good advice for everybody. Here's the bracket. You see D. Croft getting it done, and he is hanging out with Evan on the stage.
Thanks, Scott. Here with the semifinal champion, D. Croft. Obviously, you just got a big win, 26-0. How are you feeling after your scheme, getting it in, getting the nerves out, so to speak, of this event, and now making it to the final?
Yeah, I felt really good going into that game. You know, I prepared a lot for that offense that he was running. I knew everything he had on his team too, so I was prepared for everything. Of course, my guy Matt over there helped prepare me too yesterday for what his scheme was. But there's one more game to go, and I have to lock in and finish, because last year I was in the same position and I wasn't able to get it done, and this year needs to be different for me.
Yeah, we could tell there was a bit of a laser focus coming in from you today.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Definitely. It's something I felt I lacked last year, was that laser focus, not even just in this tournament, but overall. And this year I knew that I needed to be different going into every single game, and I've changed. You know, it is a video game, but I changed my preparation into going into games now. I think it's really helped with the results, and I think it's shown so far, but obviously still got a long way to go.
Absolutely. The results were a very strong defense. I think Scott had you at 11 sacks in the game, something like that. You were pretty stalwart, as they would say. How were you able to make that happen so well?
Honestly, just sticking to the game plan. I kind of knew what to anticipate throughout the game, and I just kind of stuck with what was working. Of course, when you have someone like Fletcher Cox at D-tackle with power specialists, he's going to be able to make some big plays for you, as you guys saw in that game. But really, Burns and Sweat were kind of the story of that game. I didn't really anticipate them to do what they did, but they were able to get the job done for me, and it's always good when you can rely on Sheds to win you the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was an incredible showcase, and obviously still more to do. You know that. You're laser focused. Yeah. A lot of the community wanted this. They want to see you come out. They want to see Kiv come out of that and have a great final. Are you as prepared? Are you as excited? Is that what you'd like to see?
100%. You know, the moment after online eliminations, you know, he's such a talented player himself. I knew what I needed to do again. Obviously, I've prepared for him before. I knew what I needed to do, so a lot of my focus turned into preparing for him. Of course, I've been preparing for everyone else in the club, but definitely been preparing for Shay a ton.
Well, you have a great chance to test it out, so to speak. You've already booked your spot there. We'll see if he can do so in the next semifinal. Thank you so much. D. Croft, congratulations. He's in the final. He's going to go get ready over on the side stage while we close it out here. He's safely through to the Seahawks Madden final. Up next, our second semifinal featuring one of the stars of the Madden Pro community, young Kiv. Coming off his strong showing at the Classic, the Madden Major winner will face the upset-minded Jadami when the Madden 20 Seahawks Championship continues.
CenturyLink is your connection to the Seattle Seahawks. CenturyLink, trusted technology partner of the Seahawks.
for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'm a boy, I want for the set, boy, until there's nothing left. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the jet. No, we don't hide.
12s don't just watch games, they participate in them. You've moved the chains, moved the earth, and willed miracles into existence. You've made our team one of the best in the league, and you've looked good doing it. You're not just a fan, you're on the team. So come to the pro shop and pick out your uniform.
Now that's what I call VIP.
Enter to win an exclusive fan experience at CenturyLink.com/Seahawks.
Seahawks fans, Madden fans, it's time to get this virtual party started. From in-game to in-studio, 4 Madden hopefuls have made their way to the EA Broadcast Center and take their shot at making the Seahawks roster as their only rep in the next Madden Major. It's the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. Who will make the final cut and take home the belt? Welcome back to EA Campus, just south of San Francisco, home to some rivals of the Seattle Seahawks, who tonight will obviously remain nameless. Go Hawks. We are getting ready for our second semifinal at the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship as we sneak back inside the EA Broadcast Center an inch closer to crowning a Seahawks champion. Hey again, Evan Rayner here. So pleased to have you with us. A special shout out to the 12s and all our Hawks fans watching tonight. So our format is MUT salary cap, and we have made a roster change here on the desk. Veteran Madden Pro Master Gamer is now with us, as well as our play-by-play familiar voice, Nick Mazesco. So far, a great matchup that we saw in the semi, and just opening thoughts on the Seahawks Club Championship thus far.
I mean, absolutely. And the Seahawks is one of the best events every year. You see some great competition, and they really remain every single year. We saw Croft last year. We've seen Kiv since the start. We've seen Jadami since the start. Swampy Fork is a newcomer, but those are three relatively known faces all coming back every single year at a high level to compete.
And it's so great to continue to call the Seahawks Club Championship with an organization that loves Madden, loves esports.
Yeah.
These guys are pumped to represent their teams. The fans at home are pumped to see somebody represent their team. Doesn't get much better than this.
Perfect thing to see here at the close of the evening of so much great action. Fellas, let's reset where we are. However, our first hour, it was Croft dominating Swampy Fork to advance to the Hawks final. Love that name. Still to come, the second semifinal, which features defending Seahawks Madden champion Young Kiv against Jadami, the oldest player competing tonight at age 28. The winner, of course, advances to the final to face Croft. Before we move on to the second semifinal, your thoughts on Croft and what you just saw. Many people are hoping that he will end up facing Young Kiv in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go into this event, that's what you're hoping for every single year. Croft, that's one of my guys, so I love to see him win. But really, that game was kind of stressful for me.
Was it? Why?
He just wasn't making it easy enough on him. Sometimes he's doing some things. He's trying to do too much at times. And he's still kind of young. He's still trying to do some things to kind of look cool as opposed to just be simple and effective. And it kind of freaked me out, but he got away with the win. And next he plays the winner of this game. It's going to be a great one.
And let's be clear, there are a lot of people at home hoping to see that Young Kiv Croft final. There's one person who's not. The guy sitting over there, it's Jadami. Listen, Kiv and Jadami, it's going to be a phenomenal game. Two guys who know this format, know what it's like to play for the Seahawks. I know everyone's looking forward to the championship game, but this is going to be a phenomenal semifinal.
Well, let's reset our format for those just joining us. I mentioned this at the top, but we are playing MUT salary cap. So roster building is a big component here. The prize pool guarantees $6,500 to the winner and a chance to win $100,000 in the NFL Club Championship in late December. Also at stake, the Seahawks have added some major incentive to the eventual champion with a custom-made Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Championship belt. The Hawks have done this in the past, and it's beginning to become a tradition for their club championship. If they want to make it a tradition to send me one of those as well every year, I will be okay with that.
I was going to say that one I like a lot.
Yeah, it's a tradition we're all happy to be a part of. We're happy the Hawks have done that for us here. But what about the strategy of salary cap? I mentioned how different it is, but if you're just, you play Madden casually and you see this, you're going to looks a little bit unfamiliar, so to speak. So what's it all about?
There's a lot of variables you have to account for. The main two, do you play for your strength or do you play towards your weakness? A lot of players chose to play towards their strength. I know that's something that Kiv loves to do. He just juices up that offense and makes it as easy as possible to score.
Right.
But some players, they feel comfortable on offense. They want to build up that defense and try to earn some stops that way. And that's another just fine style as well. There's a lot of versatility in salary cap, a lot of ways you can build your team, and it's really fun overall.
A lot of player control, right, Nick?
Yeah,
that ends up being the big deal.
It'll be really interesting to see how Jadami has built his defense because this is a run-heavy meta. That's not what Kiv's going to do. Kiv is an air-it-out guy. He's always been a passer. So it'll be interesting to see if Jadami has a defense that has an ability to stop that air raid offense, if he's gone with something more balanced or if he's gone with that run-stopping heavy defense.
Well, Kiv, a great passer, but it doesn't stop him from being a balanced player. Very much to Pavin, I think. The way that they play defense, they do the fundamentals right, they make good decisions. Got third at the Classic, won about $17,500, and now we're going to see if he's going to get top 32 here very soon as we head into our second semifinal of the Seahawks Club Championship. It's Young Kiv versus Jadami. Bit of a difference in the prize pool earnings over their careers, but I have a feeling that this could still be a very, very good game. We're going to send it over to Nick and Master Gamer for the call.
Thanks a lot, Evan. Yes, Young Kiv, no stranger to the Seahawks Club Championship, no stranger to being in these live events.
Jadami as well, though. I mean, he's been in this event every single year alongside Kiv.
As we take a look at Young Kiv, 22 years old from the state of Washington, his best finish, all he did was win a belt at the Madden 18 Bowl, 24-5 in ladders. Everybody knows how good Young Kiv is.
And he plays on PlayStation 4 every year, and that's just the console choice. He goes through this Seahawks event on that side.
On the flip side, another person pretty familiar with the Seahawks Club Championship. It is Jadami taking a closer look. Best MCS finish, 65th. He's looking to improve upon that. He wants to make that next jump into the final 32.
Yeah, absolutely, and he hasn't been able to take down this event so far in his career. Maybe this is the time where he finally does it.
It's going to be an interesting look at those rosters. For more on that, let's throw it over to Scott Cole and Pavin.
All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Certainly, young Kiv trying to come back, trying to repeat as the Seahawks Club champion. What is he going to be rolling out there on that offensive side of the ball?
Offensive side, we're going to be seeing some West Coast offense. Andrew Luck, he's going to have escape artist and dashing deadeye. Dashing deadeye, one of the best abilities in the game. Make any throw on the run. Dante Hall, one of the fastest players. I think he is the fastest player. Moss obviously can't go wrong. One of the best receiving target in the game.
That's scary. Moss and Dante. Let's see what young Kiv is doing on the other side of the ball defensively. He actually has a great defensive rating here in the 128 of the club. What has he got on the roster?
Yeah, he has run stuff. That's all he wants to do versus Jadami. Lawrence Taylor and Jadeveon Clowney are going to stuff that run. Troy Polamalu, secure tackler. Brandon Wilson, a low cap budget beast. Not a lot of people have used him so far. And pretty good corners that, really could get the job done.
Well, let's take a look at those ever important abilities for young Kiv. And you mentioned the escape artist, the dashing deadeye. There's a few more on there too.
Yeah, slot apprentice to get extra routes. We saw D. Croft just do that. Ryan Jensen, the center, he has identifier. Ken, that lets you see all of your opponents where their user is at, basically. And then Troy Polamalu with the secure tackler. I'm surprised he only has one, however.
Yeah, only one secure tackler, but if you're going to have one, Troy Polamalu's a good one. For Jadami, who comes into this one, he's been around the Seahawks Club Championship a lot. What is he throwing out there against young Kiv?
We see Lamar Jackson. He has escape artist and fast break on him. Fast break is the ability for your QB to get busy on the QB design runs. Dante Hall and John Ross, two speedsters. I like this Evan Ingram. I haven't been able to use him yet, but I'm pretty sure he has a tight end chem on him, just a fast tight end, and then Kittle behind him, and a great O-line.
That's a tough one, Evan Ingram, to be able to get. This is what we got defensively for Jadami.
Troy Apke on my team, on a lot of people's teams. Telvin Smith also on my team. Shaquem Griffin, another Seahawk, really good in the run game and just very fast. Ed Reed, Deion Sanders, and Denzel Ward.
Well, I hope these guys are ready to stop the pass for Jadami. Here are the abilities. You mentioned the fast break, the escape artist, then throw a little tight end apprentice on Evan Ingram. You like that pick?
Yeah, I definitely do. He's going to be running the Panther Heavy, which is a two tight end set. To get extra routes on your tight end is going to be much needed.
And Lamar Jackson certainly got to get it going. Let's get this party started. Back over to you guys.
The legend Scott Cole and Pavin, appreciate it. We got a second semifinal about to get underway. Young Kiv and Jadami. And Matt, listen, if there's one thing we've learned this week, and I said it earlier today, it's that you can never count anything until there's zeros on the clock. A lot of people looking at this going, it's going to be Kiv all the way, but Jadami is not one to be overlooked.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if Jadami is running that Panther-heavy style of offense, it is a very good offense, and it could sneak up on you at any moment.
Well, how about we go ahead and fill that final spot in the Seahawks Club Championship. It's young Kiv, it's Jadami. 20 minutes away from knowing who will take on D. Croft in the final. The kick is up, and we are underway. And a nice return to start for Jadami, and the traditional pause to begin this game as these fellas take a look at their depth charts, make sure the players are in the right positions as this all-important semi-final game as we take a look at what has young Kiv done in his MCS career. How about just earned a little over $220,000, only behind Skimbo at the top. Not a bad career so far, and he's still looking for more.
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you be?
Why not? I mean, you got a chance to earn some more money. Guess what? This right here, it's about a $1,200 game of Madden.
There's more money.
Add to those.
Now, if I were him, I would try and win this game.
All right, there you go.
Win that money.
Top-notch analyst in Master Gamer.
That's a pro tip right there. Now, somebody that I want to keep my eye on here is that Randy Moss. Randy Moss has been crucial for young Kiv every single year, coming up big, and I expect no different in this game. Randy Moss is an incredible player every single year in the salary cap format.
Well, it's going to be Jadami starting off with the ball first, as we mentioned, with that phenomenal roster breakdown by Scott and Pavin. It's Lamar Jackson at the helm, and you're going to see probably some heavy Panther.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see how much he uses the other sets you can audible to. Not only do you have Heavy Panther in your arsenal, but you can audible to that single back double ace wing and also goal line, all from Panther Heavy. So I want to see if he's just a Panther Heavy player or if he utilizes all three formations.
And on the flip side, Kiv's got to have a little bit of run defense to deal with this formation.
It's not just run defense, it's very unique because you have to account for one more player. Normally with run defense, you don't have to account for the quarterback because he's not a blocker and he's not a ball carrier. Well, in this offense, the quarterback is the primary ball carrier, so there's one more man that you have to account for as a defensive player.
Appreciate all you guys out there in the Twitch chat, spending your Friday evening with the Seahawks Club Championship. Nick Mazesco, Master Gamer, with you. And here we go, first offensive drive of the game, and it is Lamar Jackson taking the handoff, looking for some room up the middle, but nowhere to go. Loss of one.
And it looks like he's going with a spread everyone type of method to stop this Panther Heavy. Try and contain it to the outsides and force him back in.
Jadami facing a 2nd and 11. And with his offense, doesn't want to get behind the clock, as he's going to take an early timeout. And Matt, you've always said using those first half timeouts, always a good reason if you don't feel comfortable.
Absolutely, and that's something that a lot of players don't take enough advantage of. Again, you really don't need them as much. Use them when you need to.
2nd down and 11 for Jadami. Ball's at the 30-yard line. He's going to drop back to pass with Lamar looking underneath. He finds Evan Ingram, that card that Pavin said he wants to play with. That's not a bad tight end to be throwing it to. So he hurries back to the line for a 3rd and 6. So the Heavy Panther on play one. More Heavy Panther here, but he's going to be passing at it for the 2nd time. Rolling left, waiting, looking. He's got John Ross over there. He'll pick up 5. It won't be enough. 4th and short.
Yeah, and it was a nice little crosser over the middle there on that 3rd down, or that 2nd down rather, that a lot of players don't attack in this style of offense.
How about this, an early 4th and 2. Can Kiv get off the field on defense? Can Jadami get a little momentum? How about that? Not only does he have Evan Ingram, he's got a George Kittle out there as well. So some tight ends that can block and run routes. He drops back to pass on 4th down, looks right over the middle. Evan Ingram sits down in the empty part of the zone and picks up a 1st.
And he used that spot route underneath the crosser for a high-low concept, forcing Kiv to use her over the top. That's a great play.
Quickly back to the line, Jadami using pace to try to keep Kiv from too many adjustments in there. 2nd time we've seen Lamar Jackson run out of that Heavy Panther, but so far, Kiv's been prepared.
So far it's been bottled up, but he's only really attacked that right gap. Look to see him attack other areas of the field in these future plays.
That Heavy Panther, it's 4 tight ends out there.
That's a whole lot of tight ends.
Tony Pollard on the right hip of Lamar as he drops back to pass. 5-man rush picked up nicely, looking for Ingram one more time. Good click on Jadavian Clowney laying the lumber.
Now I'm surprised you didn't see a little bit of a swerve from Jadami there, trying to get a better possession catch animation, which he didn't do there, and that probably cost him that 1st down.
Now back into a 3rd and decently long, 3rd and 10 from the 45. Lamar using those hot routes. That's Hall motioning over to the left side, putting 3 receivers on the left side of that line. Lamar dropping back. Oh, he's going to go for it all. Does he have him? That's Dante Hall, and he's to the house. Too much speed over the top, and Jadami opens up the scoring.
And that's a great way to use your players. Use the personnel to get 2 receivers in at tight end in the ace double wing formation. Motions them over on a streak, splits the cover 2 safeties, and puts them up 7-0 to start this game.
Well, if you're looking for Jadami just to lay down because he's facing the Madden 18 Madden Bowl champion, that was not going to happen. as he starts out on fire.
Now, something worth considering. Oh.
Take a look at this. I mean, this is just got lost behind the defense. No user back there, and you can't forget about Dante Hall.
Yeah, I mean, we call him the fastest man alive for a reason. Right there, you saw it.
Now we get to see that Kiv offense. Kiv known in the community as an offensive guru. He likes being on the offensive side of the ball, loves to air it out.
Absolutely, and that's why you see so much of his cap spent on offense. He wants to capitalize on his strength, make sure that he's able to score every single possession. So even being down 7-0 like this is not a problem.
How about this? He comes out in that near twins formation, hands it to Randy Moss at fullback, finds some room, and listen, even when there's a meta, Kiv can find a way to use it to his advantage.
Absolutely, and right there was, if he had a couple more speed, he would have been gone. There was no one in front of him. That was just a great touchdown saving play from Shaquem Griffin.
Kiv back into a formation we saw him use quite a bit in Madden 19, that gun punch. Luck rolls left, looking for Randy Moss.
And something we saw in that play is the dashing deadeye ability. Something that a lot of bunch players are using on this Andrew Luck to be able to throw perfect passes on the run.
Kiv looking to respond to the early touchdown. Luck outside of the pocket. He's going to take off. He'll pick up the first down and wisely steps out of bounds after a gain of 13.
Now, for everybody at home, Kiv is doing a great job at quick snapping and catching Jadami off his user. He's been on the lineman so much more than you ever want to be in a game of Madden.
Moss in motion to the right, quick pressure. He finds Randy Moss near the first down marker. Give him 10, they're gonna call him just short on second down.
And that's a great read with pressure in your face. I mean, it's just so simple. When you're able to see that guy coming wide open, nowhere near the user, with 7-man blitzing, it's gonna be easy all day.
As we're nearing the end of this first quarter, big shout out to all the Seahawks fans in the chat. D. Croft already into the final. Who will join him? This kid will have to call one more play before the end of the first quarter. I formation, and I hand it off to Dante Hall. He burned him one way. Why not use him to your advantage? He'll pick up 2 and a first down, as that should take us to the end of the first.
And like I mentioned in that Jaybird game earlier, Dante Hall at running back is scary. If he gets hit sticked, I'd be worried about fumbling there. So just keep an eye to see if he goes down or if he keeps spinning.
7-0 after 1. It's always interesting to see players using Dante Hall, especially down in the goal line. Like, there's plenty of space. Hall's great out in open space, but in this tight field, he seems more likely to get hit.
Yeah, but he's also able to hit more holes because he's so much smaller. So there's an added benefit there as well.
Logan split wide left. Andrew Luck in the shotgun. He'll take the snap on first and goal. Waiting, looking back at the end zone. Dante Hall can't hang on. Great defensive play, able to pry that ball free.
And he was just close enough to be able to knock that out. Great user by Jadami to make sure he could get there in time, because that was really close to giving up 7 and tying the game. It looks like Kiv's going to come out back in that far tight slots formation, trying to give the ball to Randy Moss. Dante Hall down here in the goal line.
Does come out in that far tight slots. He hands it to Hall, and that one, a walk-in. Right down the hall goes Dante Hall to tie this ball game up.
And speaking of being able to hit holes, there's one right there, right up the middle, untouched.
Parting like the Red Sea, and we got ourselves a 7-7 ball game. As Kiv with a very methodical drive down the field, wasn't looking for too many big plays, just looking to get down near the end zone where Dante Hall could finish it off.
Absolutely the exact opposite of the drive prior, where Jadami just chucked the ball in a cover 2 beater. Kiv moved down the field play by play, and it ended up scoring by the end of it just the same.
Now we see how Kiv responds after giving up the big play on the first drive. Jadami back in that heavy Panther. Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Takes the run, gets outside, 30, trying to get to the first down marker. He'll get there, give him 11.
Now, something worth mentioning is that Jadami isn't a running style of offense. What that could mean is Kiv might not see the ball for the rest of this half, giving Jadami an advantage going into halftime.
We did see Jadami, though, pass the ball quite a bit. On the first drive out of this heavy Panther, he splits Ingram wide right, drops back to pass. And he's going to take another shot. Polamalu's back there, but Dante Hall's got too much speed. You got to have someone over the top when the Hall is on the run. Touchdown for Jadami.
And just as I'm saying, he might chew this clock all the way down to end the half. He just slings it back to the dubbed fastest man alive. And Kiv's got the ball again. The pressure's back on.
2 big plays given up by Kiv's defense, both to Dante Hall. I'll let Hall do some work on the kickoff return. Down to the 30 as we take a look one more time. Matt, what do you see on this play?
I see the fastest man alive. He just outran him. I mean, that's all there is to it. He put him on a streak and just said, go. He said, alive for 1,000, and just chucked it.
That's the old backyard football play when you just tell your friends, just go out there, just go deep. Go deep, I'll get it to you.
And that's what happened.
And Lamar put it on the money. Now Kiv back on offense. Luck rolling right. Got him, man. That's Torrey Holt. Feet inbounds. Down to midfield.
And that's a play you see in all tournament. Rolling out of the pocket to pull down that flat defender to throw the corner out over the top.
Luck on 1st and 10 outside of the pocket. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to take a shot down the field. Reed's back there. Can Moss make a play? He can't. Reed with the pick. A perfect read defensively. And Jadami controlled back into his offense's hands.
Wow, and he thought that Jadami was trapped in a cover 3. He ran that deep corner cover 3 beater and, well, didn't beat cover 3 enough.
And now Jadami with an opportunity to control this game. So he's going to drop Lamar Jackson into that single back, hands it to Tony Pollard. Lawrence Taylor with a big hit in the hole.
Now, I wonder if he got picked on that play because he was too close to the end zone to get the cover 3 deep zone to drop back.
First turnover of this game, an interception thrown by Kiv. As we near the 3-minute mark in the first half. Lamar, right side. Oh, he went for a hit stick and missed. And now Lamar is in open field. Ladies and gentlemen, Action Jackson is live in living color. Touchdown for Jadami.
Yeah, that's just a mistake on Kiv's part. There was no need to hit stick there. That run could have been contained. It still would have been very difficult. But right there, just hit sticks the open field, and the open field is not Lamar Jackson.
Matt, and let's remember, Kiv is coming off of a Madden 19 year that he wasn't very happy with. He was looking for some momentum, did well at the Classic. What's going on here at the live final?
Well, I think he's trying to be a little too aggressive. We saw in the cover 3 beater and right here. I mean, look, he just hit sticks to thin air, and Lamar Jackson was not standing there. He's got to be a little more patient, a little more controlled, and just let the game come to him. Don't try and force anything.
I'll be honest, when I saw that hit stick miss, I had to look down to make sure I didn't accidentally pick up Kiv's controller and do it for him, because I do that all the time. It's one of the hardest things to avoid doing. As Kiv finds Moss over the middle, a lot of room down to the 48-yard line. Looking for a score here, maybe to settle himself down.
Yeah, and right there again, that's back to the patient plays. There's plenty of times. Don't try and force something just because you're down 2 possessions.
And on first down, hands it to Hall, nowhere to go.
Yeah, and again, willing to run the ball in this position, just a veteran move by Kiv. He's been around, he knows this game is nowhere near out of reach. If he scores 7 here, he gets ball at a half, and he is perfectly fine.
And you got to think one of the storylines to watch as we go through this game is both these players' mindsets. Kiv's ability to stay in the zone and know he's not out of it. Jadami's ability not to get ahead of himself and make sure he plays the right way as this game goes on.
Absolutely, and the way this half ends is going to determine a lot about the second quarter. Second half, rather.
Dante Hall. So far, Kiv's done a nice job of recognizing when a blitz is coming.
Yeah, and he's identified it well. He's attacked it very well. I don't think we've seen him really pressured once. The pressures came in, but Kiv has yet to be pressured mentally.
Inside the 50 at the 42-yard line. Luck dropping back, 4-man rush. Trying to take off with Luck. He has some room.
Great slide.
Pick up 8 yards and avoids the hit.
Absolutely, and something worth mentioning on offense and defense. Right now, Jadami is giving a lot of pre-snap tells. I'm curious to see if Kiv keys in on a lot of these.
Luck dropping back, big blitz picked up nicely. Not a lot of coverage back there. He finds Randy Moss on the in route. And just like that, young Kiv's in position to cut this to a one-score game.
Absolutely, like I said, cool, calm, collected, knows the situation, knows he's just fine as long as he gets 7 here.
Minute 4 remaining in the half. D. Croft watching back in the lounge, scouting his future opponents, who he knows very well. As we said, 3 of these 4 guys, Jadami, Kiv, and D. Croft, were all in the Seahawks Club Championship last year. 1st and 10 for Kiv. Trying to find somebody, nobody's open. A lot of secondary players back there, and that's the tough part about red zone offenses. It's a compressed space.
Absolutely, the red zone's one of the hardest places to score every single year. This year is no different.
Luck on 2nd and 10. He's gonna have to throw it away one more time. Jadami's pass defense standing tall.
Yeah, and speaking on those tails, at least on the defense side, to me, looks like Jadami's only blitzing when those linebackers are in the gap. Every other time he's played coverage, you'd want to avoid those tails at all costs.
Loss split wide left is once again only a 3-man rush from Jadami. He looks for the vertical. Pruitt holds onto the ball through the contact.
Wow, the 14 cap god, Michael Pruitt. That's why he's on my team. Quite frankly, I've seen him do some wild things this year, so that doesn't even surprise me. I know I played my guy VY Electrify and just chucked a streak to him, and he put it down with 3 people in coverage and did not care.
Mike Cole saying, my ball. 1st and goal. Dante Hall, why not?
And this is the situation we described, right?
Come on.
Down 7, going into half, probably getting the ball unless something goes wrong, and he's right back in this.
Jadami, no timeouts remaining. And that's the professionalism of Kiv on display. Goes down by 2 scores, no panic. Just puts together a nice little touchdown drive, using up most of the 2nd quarter clock.
Now, the one thing that Kiv can't do is allow Jadami to score with 40 seconds left in this half, because that will be painful going into the next quarter of football.
Jadami back in that heavy Panther.
Looks like a different defense from Kiv.
Maybe switching it up after giving up a couple big touchdowns over the top. Hasn't been the run game out of this. It's been the passing game that has been a killer. Jackson. Rolling. Waiting.
Come on.
Looking from over the top. Batted up in the air.
Let's go.
That's an easiest pick that Denzel Ward's ever had, and he returns it 40 to the 44-yard line. Kiv back in this ballgame with a turnover of his own.
And if you're Jadami, you just can't do that. You have escape artist, fast break, Lamar Jackson, just scramble. Don't force anything you don't have to force when you're already up 7.
Kiv, all 3 timeouts remaining, down by 7. He's got the crosser over the top, looking for Hall, drop it in the bucket, and get into the end zone. Just like that, you blink and you miss it. Kiv only down by 1.
And keep in mind, that was the same exact play he threw a pick on earlier. He had more space, which means it's going to be wide open for an easy touchdown. You can't, you can't end this quarter like this if you're Jadami.
Some people might have gone to get a snack when it was 21-7 Jadami. They come back with their peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it's a 21-all ball game.
And that's a really bad end of the quarter if you're Jadami. You have control of this game as of now, and look right here. I mean, an easy cover 3 beater for Kiv. You can't give that up. You just can't do that.
Let's go! Come on!
Kiv and Jadami putting on a show for the Seahawks fans at home, for the fans of Madden NFL 20 at home. 21-all, and we're not even at halftime. Buckle your seatbelts. Jackson trying to find some room on the right side. Last time these two met up, it was the Madden 18 Seattle Club semis. Kiv won that game 23-10. They're already outpacing that score.
In the first half alone.
Jackson on 2nd and 2. What an adjustment by Kiv, making sure that seam isn't open. Up the left side, but no time left on the clock, and we will hit halftime. Matt back and forth, but we end up going into the third quarter the way we started. Everyone's all square with 10 minutes to play.
Yeah, and I noticed on a few of those plays, Jadami's kind of had happy feet in the pocket. He couldn't stand still, but he wasn't scrambling either. He was just kind of moving around for the sake of moving around. You don't want to do that. That could be a sign of nerves. I don't know what it is. Oh, didn't return that one. But he's got to be a lot more controlled, and just he can't end this game the way he ended that quarter. All you got to do, knowing it's the end of the half, put those deep half zones from those outside corners, and you won't get bombed there. You just can't play that aggressive to end the quarter.
What adjustment have you seen from Kiv, making sure he doesn't give that bomb over the top to Dante Hall defensively?
I mean, he's just not sitting in cover 2. That's really all there is to it. He was getting outran by Dante Hall in cover 2, and he just left it.
1st and 10, Moss up the middle. He's got a lot of room inside the 40. Swerve move.
Come on.
It's Randy. It's Dandy. He's into the end zone. And young Kiv, after being down 21-7, has just rattled off 3 unanswered touchdowns.
Yeah, and there it goes for Jadami.
Come on, one stop.
The game was in his hands, and he just threw that away. Now the question is, can he regain? This is the spot. This is where we see if you're built. Can you regain from this point differential of that second quarter, and we'll count that too, and win this ball game?
So we take a look one more time. Randy Moss. Look at this swerve. Just see ya.
And that was so extra. He didn't have to do that, but he did it anyways just because. He could have outran him to the outside.
Come on.
Now one play, one touchdown here in the second half. What sort of response does Jadami have? Motions Kittle to the right side. Jackson right up the middle. He'll pick up 4.
That was interesting. I'm not sure how confident Kiv is in this run D because it's the second run D he went to. Normally we were a lot less comfortable in that secondary run defense.
2nd and 6. Jackson waiting, looking. He's going to take off. He'll slide down to the 42-yard line, picking up a 12. Nice job there, not forcing the ball into coverage.
Absolutely. There's no spy in the field. Just scramble. You got the fastest quarterback in the game. Make use of him.
D. Croft waiting, watching. It's been changing by the minute as to who he thinks he's going to be playing in the Seahawks club final coming up next. Jackson. Nice tackle on the interior, still picks up 5.
And I haven't talked to D. Croft about this, but I know if you're D. Croft, you gotta be worried here. You came into this tournament expecting to play Kiv in round 2. You have your team built to stop Kiv in round 2, not Jadami and Heavy Panther. So you're really kind of hoping Kiv pulls it out, even though he's the favorite.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say he was hoping to play Kiv. I don't know if anybody wants to play this guy. Jackson. What a use of the playmaker there. So many people at home, myself included, used to playmakering just up the field, but right there, Kiv brings Ingram back inside.
Absolutely, and I mean, just really good use, knowing your field, just good field awareness. That's all there is to it. Being calm, being patient, not trying to do too much. Just get a nice little completion.
Now Jackson on 1st and 10.
Oh, that could have been a huge run had he not tripped. Everybody was on the floor.
Credit to the D-line of Kiv, able to get some push up front. 4-man rush from that Kiv defense. Over the middle, Evan Ingram. Boy, how good has this Ingram been?
Yeah, but that was close. That ball almost got knocked loose over the middle of the field, and that could have very well ended in a pick. That was very fortunate to not get hit stick right there.
Seems like when Jadami's needed a key 10 to 11-yard pickup, he's been looking for Evan Ingram. Jackson looks underneath. That's John Ross. And Kiv almost hit stick his own player.
Yeah, a few missed hit sticks this game from Kiv. Jadami capitalized on that one play for a huge touchdown, but only really gained 3 yards right there.
A 2nd and 7. Outside for Jackson, but Palomalu says, hold on there, young fella.
Now, Palomalu is some of the highest block shed in the game, and he does a great use of it there, getting off that block, saving a big play.
We near the end of the third quarter. It's 3rd and 5 for Jadami, down by 7. You gotta feel absolutely shell-shocked. Jackson.
Oh,
just gonna dump him off.
Jadami had a wide open.
Oh, I was wondering if I was looking at that like that was get A on the other side of the field.
He had all day in the pocket and just didn't see him for an open touchdown. That would have been so huge.
1st and 10, Jackson has Taylor with a greeting in the middle of that defense.
Interesting to see Kiv go back to his original defense. And I'm surprised again from Jadami taking up that same gap that was the only really run that got clogged when he ran it before.
Well, who knows how this one's gonna end. We only got 5 minutes left. Kiv with a 7-point lead. Jadami on the drive. 4's up. Lamar outside the pocket. Oh, he thought about throwing that one. Wisely pulls it down and picks up 10.
I don't know if Kiv meant to click onto that guy because he was so deep downfield. I don't know if he expected it, but it worked really well.
3rd down and 1.
I guess it's a QB blast here. And that's what we see.
A fighting forward. That's just holding forward on the left stick and praying and hoping.
That's the version of Lamar we like to call the llama, just fighting for those extra yards.
Jackson on 1st and goal. Only a 3-man rush from Kiv. And Jadami wisely gets out of there and throws that ball away.
Yeah, and I mentioned before, he kind of had happy feet. Well, that was just a great job staying in the pocket as long as you can and making sure a negative play didn't happen. That was great.
.401 to go in this, our 2nd semifinal.
Looks like he audibled in the goal line.
He's got Pollard at the top of that eye. Lamar dropping back. Pressure up the middle. He has a man wide open, but it's an inaccurate pass. And Ravens fans at home going, I've seen this before, and it's no good.
Oh, that's gotta hurt if you're Jadami. You just gotta set your feet there and you have the freest touchdown you could ever ask for.
How does Jadami recover after the sure touchdown? Sails into the 4th row.
I fully expect coverage here from Kiv. Not wanting to give up anything for free.
He sent the blitz on the last play. It didn't work. Now he only sends 3. Waiting, finds Ross. Ward with a big hit. Palomalo with a big hit. John Ross, though, holds on to that ball. Where are you going here? 4th and goal, down by 7. Are you kicking? Or are you trying to tie this game up?
You know, it really depends on how confident you are in the red zone. And if you're in a formation like this, you gotta consider just running blast, honestly. You can get those 4 yards. But we'll see what Jadami elects to do. He hasn't really shown the propensity to run a run on 4th and short.
Could this be the play we look back on as deciding this game? 4th and goal, and Jadami's gonna go for it with Lamar Jackson. Here comes the pressure, gets rid of it. George Kittle hit, it falls incomplete. It looked like he had a chance to get it on the rebound, but George Kittle couldn't come down with a catch, and Kiv gets a massive stop. Coming up next, do not miss it. D. Croft versus the winner of this game. Will it be Jadami? Will it be young Kiv? We'll find out about 3:15.
Wow, and Jadami's last chance here is to try and force a safety, which can be very hard against this far tight slot formation.
Hall up the middle, picks up 3.
And Kiv is smart here. This is something that annoyed me when I was watching D. Croft play. He wasn't playing passive enough when he got forced onto his own 10-yard line. You just got to come out in a formation where you're probably not going to lose yards and get your back from off of that goal line to make the rest of the drive a lot simpler.
2nd and 7 for Kiv. Landed to Hall. Oh, he's got a lot of space. You can't give Dante Hall all that room. Count down with me as he'll lie down at the 26-yard line, and Kiv can taste that final.
And what a change of events in this game. Jadami was up 21-7, and now a 21 unanswered run from Kiv with ball in field goal range with the clock chewing and 2 minutes left. I mean, what a great comeback, but also just an unfortunate fold from Jadami.
And Matt, we've seen all weekend, we've been talking about time management. Do you like the call to fall on the ball, or was it a little early? Jadami has all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, if you're going to fall, I feel like you want to fall a little closer to the end zone. Personally, I like to score there because I don't think he's in a position to score twice, but I know Kiv does like to fall down. That's just his personal preference, so I'm not going to say really, because when it comes down to his preference in this spot, I don't think this is one of those certain you should do this or you should do that because he does have those 3 timeouts.
Well, it may be November, but it feels like the 4th of July with the amount of fireworks we've had here in this second semifinal. And young Kiv on the verge of yet another Seahawks club final. D. Croft waiting in the wings.
Absolutely, and it looks like after that first down, really second in inches, but if he can't get inches, he wouldn't have been here by now, that this game is going to end. Kiv is going to be advancing into the finals to play D. Croft, the game that everybody's been waiting for.
Now you still got to play it on the field, and for a while there, it looked like we might not get the final that so many people were asking for online. But just when you think Kiv's on the mat, gets up for round 2 and lays a knockout. As we will hit zeros on the clock, Kiv, 21 unanswered to take this semifinal number 2, 28-21.
Man, what an ending.
Ever played Panther like that?
That second quarter.
Yeah, I saw him playing W. And
we look back on that late interception in the second quarter by Jadami that allowed Kiv to tie it up with ball after half.
Yeah, I mean, that second quarter, last-minute stretch for Jadami crushed him. It absolutely crushed him, and it was all avoidable.
Young Kiv on to the finals. He will take on D. Croft for the right to be crowned the Seahawks Club Championship. Let's take a look back. If you missed it, buckle in, because this is quite a set of highlights. Young Kiv and Jadami, and we started out with Dante Hall for Jadami out of that heavy Panther. He's airing it out.
Yeah, and this is a great way that he utilized the Dante Hall to attack this run defense that Kiv was in. And he did it again right here, just on the other side of the formation, going over the top to Dante Hall for 6.
Yeah, that wasn't like we played the same play over again. He just found Dante Hall one more time. And look at this missed hit stick and Lamar Jackson in open field. Forget about it.
And in this point of the game, you're thinking, well, now, wait a second. Jadami's in a spot where he could really win this game. And it looked like that going into that last minute of that second quarter, and then it all went awry.
Kiv head in hands, but Michael Pruitt with the catch, and Dante Hall finishes the drive off to get it to 21-14, and this the play that may have turned it all around for Kiv. Down by 7, under 40 to go. Jadami and ill-advised throw.
Yeah, and it was just so unnecessary. There's no need to do that. You gotta be a little more passive when you're up 7 with the ball. Just end the half.
And guess what? With 27 seconds left, he only needed one play to find the end zone. The crosser comes across the field, and who else but Dante Hall?
Like, why are you pressing there is my thing. You can't press there. Play more passive. There's 20 seconds left.
And Randy Moss says, yo, Kiv, I got the winner right here. Give me the ball. I'll find the end zone. And that was all Kiv would need. 4th and goal. The defense stands tall. George Kittle can't come up with it. And Jadami, he's got to be thinking, man, where did I go wrong?
Well, I could tell you, that's throwing that pick. That started it all. That's probably a 10-point swing at the end of the half that you cannot allow yourself to give up, especially when you have the ball.
Young Kiv with the win in our semifinal number 2, 28-21. As we take a look at our bracket, D. Croft, a dominant opening game. Kiv, it was a little dicey. But you get the final that a lot of people were asking for. D. Croft and Young Kiv for the Seahawks Club Championship. Let's throw it over to Evan, who's standing with Young Kiv.
Thanks, Nick. It's exciting, man. You made a lot of people happy to see this matchup coming up in the finals now, but it didn't start off so well for you. There was obviously a little bit of time to get back in rhythm in the beginning of that match.
Yeah, it started out pretty crazy. I got down 14. And luckily, I was able to score, and then I got that big pick before half. I had 3 timeouts, and he didn't have any timeouts, and it was like 40 seconds left. So I thought he might try to kind of force something, and I was able to get him to force something, and luckily I was able to get the tip pick, and then I ended up bombing him the next play. So it was a huge swing of events. I went 21-21 at half, and then I was able to score out of half. And basically just kind of seal it from there. I just played solid defense after that.
I mean, it was an impressive performance because going down and then coming back up and then now knowing that you're in the lead, playing differently. But that lead happened at the start of the third. You had that Randy Moss breakaway run. You did a little fake left-right, and you took it for the TD. How did that feel, and what kind of did that lead into for the second half?
It gave me a lot of momentum. I don't run the ball a lot, so whenever if I do and I get a big play, it feels good.
You're popping off.
With running the ball, for me, if I run the ball and I score, that's like a freebie. That's like EA just gifted me a touchdown right there. I didn't have to work at all for it. So felt super good getting that touchdown with Randy Moss.
It was easy to see, too. You were very excited. You were getting animated with it. And running is something that's so prevalent in Madden 20. You still stick with the pass. It's worked so well with you. We've seen it not work. I mean, we saw 7 interceptions in a game earlier today. So it seemed to still be a part of your rhythm, and that's good. Looking forward now, you've obviously got Croft that you beat last year in the Seahawks final, looking to get your back-to-back. How do you feel going up against him, knowing he's prepared? He understands what you're going to be bringing to the table.
I've been preparing for him for months, so
okay.
I'm super locked in. I knew he was playing in this event, and I knew that he's a tough competitor, so I've been preparing for him for months. Can't count how many times I've watched film of him, so let's hope that the preparation works off, and I can become the Seahawks champion.
And when elaborate a little bit. What did you see in that film? What does he tend to do?
I'm not gonna give away
let
anything.
your play talk about it. Okay.
I've just been preparing for him for a long time, so hopefully it can work out.
What about being a Seahawks fan as well? You're repping the gear here, but you live in Washington, right?
Yeah, I actually live in Edmonds. Shout out Edmonds. It's like 15, 20 minutes outside of Seattle. And I've been a Seahawks fan my whole life. I remember watching the Super Bowl back in like 2005 or 2006. Big Ben was at the 1-yard line, and he ran the QB sneak, and it was like controversial call, and that was like the first big football game I watched. So I've been a Seahawks fan ever since then, through the bad years and the good years. And we got Russell Wilson, the MVP of the league. So
is your favorite player?
One of them.
One of them. All right. Well, thanks, man. It's been great talking to you. Great seeing you again from the Classic. Now here doing so well. We will be seeing you in the finals, though. So this man will be on your screens very, very soon. Our Seahawks final is set and is the matchup many have hoped for. Croft taking on the defending champ Young Kiv. It will be a rematch of last year's very close Seahawks Madden final. Young Kiv took that one, but who will prevail this year and become the Hawks champion? We'll find out when we return to the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship.
CenturyLink is your connection to the Seattle Seahawks. CenturyLink, trusted technology partner of the Seahawks.
How many of y'all came to win? Never not on my grind. New York City time. The brother better, you will never find. Reporting live from the winning side. Granny try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never try. You will never know. You ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good. We don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes. Taste of the wings, what I do. Looking to throw. He's letting it. And he's got it. Now what I do. Lace up the shoes, taste of the wings. Leave beats, leave it in the street. Case on the news. What I do. Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me.
Get up, get ready, get my jersey on. First truck in the lot gives you a little bit more tailgating time. The feeling once you get in the stadium is kind of electric. Meet up with some other 12s. Blue Thunder gets your blood really pumping. Flag Raiser comes and pumps up the whole crowd.
A lot of excitement waiting for the kickoff.
There's nothing like being at the game. You know you're going to potentially be there for the greatest play in Seahawks history, and it could happen in the next play.
CenturyLink Boost Box is packed with prizes to stay connected with the Seahawks at home and on the road. Enter for a chance to win a VIP home and road fan experience from CenturyLink.
Seahawks fans, Madden fans, it's time to get this virtual party started. From in-game to in-studio, 4 Madden hopefuls have made their way to the EA Broadcast Center and take their shot at making the Seahawks roster as their only rep in the next Madden Major. It's the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. Who will make the final cut and take home the belt? Welcome back one last time to the EA campus as we push later into the evening and head towards our much-anticipated Seahawks final. And we one last time bring you inside the EA Broadcast Center, this time for the conclusion of the Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. Hey there, Evan Rayner here, and it's finally time for us to crown a champion for the Hawks. Special shout out to the 12s and those from the Hawks organization watching with us tonight. We're also happy to have the Madden NFL 20 Classic champ, Sirius Mo, with us, as well as, of course, our very own Scott Cole. Fellas, big evening, big matches just took place. What did it look like on your end of the broadcast?
It's been a phenomenal day of games, and I think we're about to see the best one yet, and it's the last game, so I'm excited for it. I know both these guys really wanted to play each other. I think that they both wanted the other one to get here, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
D. Croft wants a little revenge. Kiv wants to be known as the best, you know what I mean? So he wants to go through the best, of course. So I think it's going to be a great game.
How Kiv came back and won that game, I will never know. I thought he was donezo, 21-7, but hey, he got the momentum and maybe the most balanced I've seen Kiv look on offense.
Absolutely, and you know, a couple of years ago, we might not have seen that comeback from Kiv, you know what I mean? He might have lost it, and you know, that's just him growing as a player, you know. He's the best person I've played this year, so I don't know what to say. I wasn't surprised by the comeback because he is such a phenomenal player. But yeah, when you do have to come back on defense, it gets a little bit tougher, and obviously he's an offensive player, but he got it done.
Absolutely. Hard to just call him a passer. He does so much more than that. Fellas, let's reset. Here's how we got here. You take a look. It was obviously D. Croft versus Swampy Fork, 26-0. We'll say that from my old soccer days. And then, of course, 28-21. That one didn't look like it was going the way of young Kiv, though. However, probably the most surprising aspect for me, seeing that come back in the third quarter, one play to the house. Guys, what surprised you today, if anything, from this bracket?
I thought Jadami played really good. I thought he had a really unique offense. It was like the Lamar Jackson fast break. Escape artist was really just like a decoy, you know, because he was just like catching Kiv off guard, really. And
yeah,
I thought he was really impressive. I think that once again, if he had a little bit more experience, he probably would just takes it to half up by 7, knowing that he's going to control the game in the second half. But he makes that mistake. Kiv's super high power on offense, gets 7 before half, and just completely changed the game.
Defense, turnovers, that's going to be the key here in this final. You can't give anything away. And then it's going to come down to clock management down at the end of the ball game. It's something that we've seen some good of today, and we've seen some questionable clock management as well.
Yeah, some not so great ones there. Shami will be thinking about it, but we've got to move on. Let's reset for those who are just joining us. We are playing MUT salary cap, so roster building, it's a big deal. The prize pool guarantees $6,500 to the winner and a chance to win $100,000 in the NFL Club Championship in late December. Also at stake tonight, the Seahawks have added some major incentive to the eventual champion with a custom-made Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Championship belt. The Hawks have done this in the past, and it is a tradition at this point for their club, and it's one of those things that, Scott, we were talking about earlier, it's just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, we take our belts very seriously here at the MCS, but I mean, they certainly have earned the opportunity to give away a belt each and every year, and certainly that's what everybody's playing for. They want that extra belt. You know, got a two-timer right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I know Kiv. We went out to dinner last night, and he had just said like, "Oh, the Seahawks just followed me on Twitter." You know, he's geeked about it. Obviously, I know he wants to get that belt for sure.
He's getting that clout right there.
Absolutely.
He said, make sure you bring that up on broadcast. Okay? Make sure. I'm going to be playing. You got to say that. Let's do this, fellas. It's time to get into it. The final we've all been waiting for. It feels like a great end to an incredible day. Young Kiv or D Croft, they played each other last year in the semifinals of the club championship. Young Kiv edging him out 20-17, just barely getting the win and moving on to ultimately win that and represent the Seahawks. Will things change this year? We're about to find out as Scott and, of course, Serious Mo get ready to take us onto the call.
Well, it's been a great day of John Madden football, and what a way to cap it off. It's going to be the final between Young Kiv and D Croft to see who is going to be there for the Seahawks in December. And D Croft, this is the moment he's been waiting for. He got beat in the semis last year by Young Kiv, and now he has the opportunity to move on. The youngster, just 19 years old. Certainly look good on offense, but maybe look better on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's playing Young Kiv now. It's going to be a little bit tougher to come by from some stops. But he's got that Fletcher Cox on defense with the power specialist. That's going to be the person that, if he makes some plays, he may be able to slow Young Kiv down or get some stops. But if not, Kiv's going to have a field day.
There is Young Kiv just waiting for the moment, calm and collective. He is trying to repeat, go back-to-back here with Seattle, 22 years old. I don't know at what point he's just Kiv. He's getting up there. 22 is ancient in Madden years. Of course, he won back in Madden 18. We need a refresher on what these rosters are. Let's check in with Nick and Matt.
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. What a great Seahawks club final we have here. Let's take a look first at D Croft's offensive roster. And he really didn't have to do a whole lot in that first semifinal because his defense was so dominant. But what do you see from the offensive side of the ball?
Absolutely. He highlights the Stephon Diggs. He really likes his item. He's really shifty. He's able to get the route ability on him. And the Christian McCaffrey, a great receiving running back that he puts a tight end with the ability to spin.
On the flip side, the defense, that's what we were talking about with D Croft in the first semifinal game. And said his favorite player is Fletcher Cox. He's got him right at DT.
Yeah, and absolutely. But he got Darius Slay hiding underneath there, had a huge pick in that game that really ended it for D Croft and allowed him to steal that game.
As we take a look at the abilities that D Croft has put on his players, you talked about Stephon Diggs with that slot apprentice and Fletcher Cox, power specialist.
Absolutely. Those are the big two players on his team. Slot apprentice giving him that solo side ability to get corner routes and post, and then power specialist just getting great pressure up that A gap.
Well, D Croft coasted through that first semifinal, but he knows Young Kiv is going to be a much stiffer test as we took a look at Kiv's offense. And we saw Kiv with that very balanced attack in the second semifinal. Where do you see him going here and get in this final for the Seahawks?
I see him going right over here to Randy Moss. That's the guy who cribbed the first run of the game to really open it up. Randy Moss, the highest cap player that isn't Andrew Luck on offense for Kiv. One of the best receivers in the year every single year, and I expect no different from this Randy
On the
Moss.
flip side, the defense for young Kiv, which locked down in that second and third quarter. We were able to see a guy like Denzel Ward get a huge interception.
Absolutely. He used these low caps, Denzel Ward and Deion Sanders, really high-speed guys for a great value in cap, as well as a player like Brandon Wilson, as you see on the top right under Troy Polamalu. Got great speed and defensive backs. And let's not forget to mention Lawrence Taylor and Jadeveon Clowney. Some great pass rushers.
As we take a look at the abilities that young Kiv has, and that identifier going to be big for him to know where D. Croft is using.
Absolutely, but let's point out Dashing Deadeye. But combined with Escape Artist and Dashing Deadeye, you really do a great job of removing negative plays, and that's so huge in a game like this.
What a Seahawks final we have coming up. Young Kiv and D. Croft. Let's throw it over to the boys who get to call the action. Scott Cole and Serious Mo.
Well, fans, you want it, and here it is. It's a D. Croft Young Kiv final here in the Seahawks Club Championship. And Young Kiv trying to do it again. D. Croft trying to do it for the first time for the 19-year-old. I feel like Young Kiv's been playing for a decade. He's been in a lot of big games. This is another big one, Mo.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, early on, he failed a lot in those big games. He's been able to come through as of late. Something I'm keying in on is whether or not D. Croft can keep him in the pocket with that Andrew Luck escape artist, because it's really tough to do, especially when he's playing young Kiv. Kiv is the best offensive player in the world. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can keep him in the pocket. That will be D. Croft's key to success.
Time to set up their depth charts, get their rosters ready. You'll see them set their audibles as well. How many times do you think he's set these depth charts?
Honestly, man, I fly through this thing. I just go into the game. It's like I'm not like that. So, but these guys here, these guys are official with it. These guys get it all the way exactly right. You know, once they go to a formation, it's already set up. I like to just manually do it.
You know, you'll see some guys just go right through it, and then you'll see some guys like, nah, man, I need some time. And of course, it was a year ago in the semifinal. It was a 20-17 win for young Kiv, who came back scoring 14 unanswered there in the third, and then finally beat K-Mike in the final 18-0.
Yeah, I remember after that game versus D. Croft, Kiv gave me a call. He's like, I just play D. Croft. You know, D. Croft was relatively unknown then, and he's like, yeah, the kid was like super tough. He caught me off guard. Like, I probably should have lost, honestly. He's like, the kid's good. You know, obviously he doesn't. When you play a good player, you hope that they don't come back to your club. You know what I mean? Because you want to have a softer club, and D. Croft is kind of like in the way of Kiv. You know what I mean? Just kind of flying through.
There's a little bit of redemption there in Vegas where Kiv lost to Jaybird on a field goal, then came back and had D. Croft miss a field goal that would have tied the ball game. You can see the previous winners. K-Mike did it twice, including winning the whole thing in 17, and then young Kiv, as I mentioned before, trying to go back-to-back here, represent his favorite club, the Seahawks. Both these guys from Washington want to battle it out here at the virtual CenturyLink.
I'm excited for this one, man. I really, really am.
You've been waiting all day. You've been talking about hoping for this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have a great game. I'm interested to see what Kiv does versus this shotgun U-trips. I think we're going to see Kiv run some 1-4-6, probably a lot of cover 2 sink, because it looked like D. Croft didn't have a lot of plays for cover 2. It looked like he was just trying to hit that outside fade. I think Kiv's going to be on that, and I'm going to be interested to see how D. Croft adjusts to that.
Well, D. Croft's going to start off with it first. Of course, young Kiv rocking that 818 tag. That's oh so familiar.
Absolutely.
And here we go. Audible's getting set, and D. Croft is set. He'll start with it first. He'll be in the all-dark uniforms. Young Kiv will be wearing the whites. Little motion here. Start off the ball game. Cooks will go wide. A lot of adjustments here on this opening play. Rogers. He'll just take off, use his legs, and slide down. It should be a gain of 9.
And we're seeing two phenomenal passers, but we're going to see D. Croft take a really slow, methodical approach where young Kiv, he loves the chunk plays. He wants to score as fast as possible, get back on defense. Completely different game plans, but both passing the ball every play.
There's a truck by Bo Jackson. And And he'll give him a fresh set of downs on the opening drive, and it is very methodical for D. Croft.
The only issue with that is you give yourself more opportunities to make a mistake. Whereas young Kiv, he may make a mistake, but he was going for a 70-yard play.
D. Croft once again in the gun. Here comes Cooks. Same look we saw on first down to open the drive here. And Rogers, one pocket presence, then the low throw to Sammy Watkins. And he is loose. And finally, Wilson will wrap him up in the 16, but not after 43-yard gain.
Phenomenal stick work there after the broken tackle. Great spin move. A lot of people just get tackled there. Great spin, pick up an extra 30 yards. Huge play.
So momentum building early here for D. Croft. Kiv got down early in the semifinal. I don't think he can afford to do that against D. Croft.
Yeah, I agree completely. Another thing to mention is young Kiv has these 10-cap slot corners, and that's probably what made that pass even be completed in the first.
Bo Jackson, forget about it. Untouched for D. Croft.
I don't think young Kiv expected D. Croft to really run the ball at all, you know what I mean? And he's ran the ball twice, both successfully. And just a perfect drive out of D. Croft, you know, to start the game. Nothing, can it come any easier? That's exactly how you want to have it when you're playing a player like young Kiv.
So pending the PAT, he's going to have his 7-point lead here on this opening drive. And it's up and it's good. 7-0 for D. Croft. 4 plays, 72 yards. Taking up a minute 43. What a start to the game for D. Croft. And Izzo dropped it and had to jump on it.
It got scary for a second there.
Here it is again. What a run by Bo.
It's just too easy if you're young Kiv. You almost, I don't know what he's going to do, you know, coming back when he's back on defense again, because that drive was just so easy. Of course, the big play with Sammy Watkins set it up, but it looked like he could have ran the ball pretty easily on that defense if he would have just went to it more. And, you know, after D. Croft scores, if I was D. Croft, I would probably come back to that run a lot more.
Remember in the semifinal for D. Croft, his D-line got after it, picking up a whole ton of sacks. Certainly young Kiv ready to protect his quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, young Kiv, we're going to see a lot of max protection from him, 3 route combinations. So I don't think that the pressure will get to him nearly as much as it did in that semifinal game.
They'll hand it off to Dante.
Fletcher Cox. D. Croft's favorite player in the game, he said. Making a play early.
He's just a beast. Trolling in the middle, that'll be a loss of 1.
We're going to see young Kiv go to that gun bunch, air this thing out, have some fun.
2nd and 11. Down a score here early, and there is the sack. He brings Wilson from out of nowhere.
That was great defense. Came in almost immediately.
3rd and 16. Not like this, Kiv. Not like this.
It gets tough. I'm pretty sure Kiv's probably never seen that defense before. It gets tough, especially on your first drive, seeing it for the first time.
Swap the running back here. Gets set up. Make sure he's got time. Looking downfield. Nothing there. Still gets out with luck and throws an absolute hot one to Torrey Holt. Wow.
I like to see Kiv go to that tight formation. I haven't seen him go to that much online even, you know what I mean? I'd love to see him switch it up because he does see a defense he hasn't seen before. Make sure he gets some time. A little bit of a lucky play kind of, you know, it's a broken play, but that's what it takes sometimes. Way to stay in the pocket, way to make the play, way to keep your eyes downfield.
That'll move the chains. I'm over here sweating it out, and he's just like, yeah, no big deal, man. Pick up the first down. Let's go. 1:40 left here in the first. And here's a timeout.
I'd really like to see young Kiv just stay in the gun bunch. You know, I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball successfully versus D. Croft. D. Croft has shown that he can stop the run. I think he's wasting plays here, and I think with a player like young Kiv, you don't need to waste any plays when you're as good as you are on offense.
Timeout here by D. Croft. Set up his defense. Put Palomalu right in the gap, and then he spins off and makes the user play.
That's so impressive. What D. Croft is doing to stop the run is so impressive. It's something I wish I would have learned how to do. That. I mean, that's just amazing what he's doing. He's coming all the way down in the gap and then spinning around, and he's going undetected by the offensive line and just getting in the backfield immediately, all by himself. Really, really impressive.
He likes to put Troy Polamalu sometimes at the linebacking core to make those plays. That'll force a 2nd and 13. Luck picks up the blitz, low throw, and Dante out to the 43. That'll make a 3rd and 7.
It's a huge play coming up here.
Savage on the tackle. Under a minute to go now in the first. Big 3rd down. Luck, quick throw. Randy right there to haul it in at the 40-yard line. Cross midfield, 1st down.
And that would have been picked off if D. Croft was onto a safety, but since you're on a linebacker, you don't get very good animations. You have to be almost on top of the ball to pick it off, and that's why that pass was completed.
Back of the bunch, this time to the left side. Moss coming across the formation. Luck standing in the pocket, has the flats wide open, and Pruitt will pick up maybe 3.
Kiv's probably mad at himself there. He missed that read earlier. He probably would have got a lot more yards. Also had this scramble with Luck. That was probably the worst thing that could have happened for him, was only a gain of 3.
If you're playing salary cap and you don't have Pruitt, you might be doing it wrong. Great way to save cap and still get production. And that's how the first quarter will come to an end. D. Croft with an early 7-0 lead, but Young Kiv's on a drive.
This drive will tell us a lot. I think if Young Kiv can figure this drive out and get 7 points, I don't think D. Croft's going to have much of a chance at stopping him. But if D. Croft is able to get a stop or even hold him to 3, it could cause some trouble later on in the game for Kiv.
Shotgun once again. This time, Kiv will scramble to the right, and he'll just throw it away. First incompletion of the game for Kiv.
Absolutely. D. Croft is actually playing really good defense. Although that was his first incompletion, you could tell Young Kiv is a little bit uncomfortable on offense.
3rd and 7. Brings the heat and plays some good coverage behind it as well. Second play of the quarter. Bunch now to the right side. It's like Dante solo to the left. Here's the motion. Luck all day in the pocket, and he throws one into Randy and got a yard.
That does put him in field goal range. I wonder if he'll kick here. That's actually a pretty big play, because from the 37 he probably can't make it with his kicker, but from the 36 he can. That's actually a really big play.
53-yard field goal is up, and it is good. With 4:23 on the clock, and D. Croft gave up a few plays there, but able to hold him to a field goal.
Absolutely, and I'm almost certain Young Kiv would have had to have gone for that 4th down if that pass wasn't completed.
Certainly didn't cross the crossbar by much. And here's Pat Pete. Out past the 26-yard line. That's where D. Croft will go back to work.
And if you're D. Croft, you got to think about taking this clock with you. You're playing Young Kiv, one of the best offensive players in the world, if not the best. You got to think about taking all of this clock with you.
Up 7-3 here in the final. Scott Cole, Sirius Mo, hanging out with you on a Friday. Checks it down this time. Sammy, can he make a man miss again? Not able to get away, but he does get to the 35, 2nd and 2.
D. Croft just playing extremely patient, just like we expected. It looks like Young Kiv is probably going to have to mix it up, probably send some more pressure at him if he wants to get a stop.
Bo Jackson will not get to the yard to gain.
A little bit of fight.
Encouraging his guys to fight here on 3rd and 1.
I don't think you're going to have to encourage Clowney and LT too much, but.
Quick throw.
Oh.
How about the former Clemson Tiger, Sammy Watkins, making an impact?
Hot read, just a really good play out of D. Croft. You know, a lot of players don't have that in their arsenal. You know, that's a huge play people don't even notice. Kiv getting a little adjusty on defense.
And it is a run. And Polamalu will chase him down.
Great click on by Kiv. Held him to a no gain, where if he doesn't click on, Bo Jackson probably gets to the sideline there.
He needs a little bit of that confidence. His user tackling hit stick has not been sharp tonight. certainly got exposed a little bit in the semifinal before he finally locked it down. Rogers steps up and he throws, and Brandon Cooks has got the speed.
Oh my God.
And
what?
he will take it to the crib. Young Kiv is finding himself in a deep hole right here.
Great read by D. Croft. Kiv probably could have made the tackle, but once D. Croft threw the ball, Kiv clicked on and held X to swat the ball, and he was nowhere near it, so his player just kind of fell over. Otherwise, Dion probably would have made the tackle. Instead, he gives up 7 points.
What a pass by D. Croft. He has turned some quick routes into some big gains tonight. Look at it again. This comes out hot.
Just a great read. If I was Kiv, I mean, not if I was Kiv, but you would like to see Kiv lurk the middle of the field. It didn't look like he had much going on the right, but just a great play. Just a great play call.
Boy, just to stand up in the pocket and send a laser beam and all kind of yards after the catch for D. Croft. And now young Kiv's got to focus in here. Once again, finds himself down early in back-to-back ball games.
But luckily for young Kiv, he's able to get 7, and then he gets the ball at half. He's not out of this game. He almost has control of the game still, you know what I mean? And that's how he feels. He feels if he can have the ball, even if he's down a possession, he's fine. You know, he wants to win the game on offense anyways.
Bunch formation to the right here on 2nd and 5 after the 2-minute warning.
Fletcher Cox just
it's a problem. It's like a fireworks show there, fighting in the middle.
That was the actual most insane play I've seen this year. Did you just see what was happening? He just kept stiff arming the center.
I mean, you got 2 impact players fighting it out there in the middle between your identifier and then just, wow. It's nuts right now.
Great read.
Logan out of the backfield. That's certainly something we're going to watch out for. Fletcher Cox making things happen there in the middle. I'll pick up a first down, 90 seconds to go. Here in the first half, trailing by 11.
I like to see young Kiv come straight back to the same play. It does not look like D. Croft can stop that play.
Gonna have to move his user over there. Then when that happens, you're about to give up something way worse.
And here we go. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I don't get why young Kiv's coming to this I-form wing. You just had your best 2 plays of offense in the game. And now, like I said, I think you're wasting a play. D. Croft is probably going to blow up this run. He's been playing phenomenal run defense with that Troy Polamalu. And yeah, I just don't like seeing it, especially with a player as good as him. You know, it's one thing if I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I can't air it out like young Kiv. But he does catch him.
Dante Hall. We'll get to the 32. That'll put him in field goal range with 55 seconds to go in the half.
D. Croft couldn't get his run defense set up right there, and he actually stripped right when the ball was snapped, so it took Troy Polamalu completely out of the play. I'm surprised young Kiv didn't get a bigger play.
A few people get caught with those quick snaps over the first couple days of the tournament. 2nd and inches. Kiv uses his first timeout, 2 remaining. Under a minute to go. Luck looking downfield, has a man, and Holt will come back and gather it at the 19, clock on the move.
And he's gonna get about a 10-second runoff too, right when he comes out on the play. So there's really about 30 seconds left right now. Then he's gonna have to make hot routes. This is a really big play coming up. I probably would have burned a timeout there, but Kiv's a lot better on offense than I am.
All with the motion. He goes quickly.
Got him.
And he throws it into the end zone, and Moss off the tip from Holt. Touchdown, Kiv. Smiles all around.
I really don't know how D. Croft's player made a play there, but just a really lucky play for young Kiv.
Come on.
May have thrown it a little bit late. May have thrown it a little bit late for that deep half on the other side to make that play.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Absolutely, and if you're young Kiv here, it's very, very important that you do not let D. Croft get points. 22 seconds, 2 timeouts. This is kind of a similar situation to last game, although Jadami had no timeouts, but this is a situation where your opponent can make a mistake on offense. I would say it's about 50-50 for either side to get points here before half.
Cue the circus music. Here we go. Off the tip. Randy Moss putting Kiv back in the game. Little laugh at the end of that rack.
Are we going to see a run here?
He's got 2 timeouts. See if he's satisfied with the lead. He'll get back in the gun. Remember, this is how Kiv got back in the ball game in the semifinal. Jadami got a little greedy. Kiv was able to get a pick and turn it into points. He'll put it on the ground. Bo Jackson got caught up for a moment out on the edge, and there's a big hit by Troy.
I don't love the timeout there from D. Croft unless you're going to run the ball. If you're not running the ball here, I don't like that timeout at all. And I also don't like the defensive call by Kiv. Why are you in a cover 2 shell with 14 seconds left and you're controlling one of the deep halves? It just makes no sense to me.
Rodgers swings it out to Christian McCaffrey. Remember, he gave up a few long bombs from tight ends going right up the seam. See what happens here on 3rd and 4 with 9 seconds left in the game. A little draw play to Bo Jackson. Ain't no future in that. And that might be the half.
If I was Kiv, I would have called the timeout a little bit earlier, just so you force your opponent to punt the ball. Now D. Croft can just run a play of his own. Kind of put yourself in an awkward situation.
4th and 2.
But it looks like D. Croft's probably just going to punt it out of bounds here.
That's certainly the safe play. You don't want a screamer to come in. Next thing you know, you're giving up a field goal here right before the half.
I think it's pretty tough for a play to take 2 seconds, especially if it's a pass play. But you never know. You know what I mean? It's definitely safer to punt the ball out of bounds. I agree.
I don't think we've ever seen a punt block in the history of the MCS. So a pretty safe call here. And you're going to have a 4-point lead going into the half.
Absolutely, and he's played perfect, really. He could have easily got a pick there, and Kiv would have been down 14-3, and we would say this game might be over because he can't stop him.
Daniel will just punt this one out of bounds. And that's how the half will come to a close. D. Croft 14, Young Kiv 10. D. Croft trying to win this thing for the first time. Young Kiv trying to do it back to back as we head into the second half.
And if you're Kiv, I think you're happy right now because you probably shouldn't be in this game. Not that you shouldn't be in it, but it probably should be 14-3. And if you're D. Croft, you're a little bit upset because you are playing one of the best offensive players, and you just know you cannot have stuff like that happen to you if you're playing a player like that. Can't give a player like Young Kiv second chances.
Double spin move there from Hall, getting out to the 33-yard line. That's where Kiv will have the ball to start this second half.
What I just noticed is Young Kiv went to the halfback solo, which puts Dante Hall in the backfield. We're going to see a sweep here from Dante Hall.
Right yard partner, they hand it off to Dante,
got space.
And he's got some room, got caught up.
Oh my God.
I don't know who that was outside, but maybe tackled his own man. He's trying to make a block, and Randy Moss actually takes down Dante Hall.
Yeah, it just kind of looked like he got sandwiched in between the blocker and the defender.
Randy Moss trying to make plays out there. 1st and 10. A block that never needed to happen, and that might be intentional grounding.
That's a 16-yard loss, too.
Yeah, that's going to be a spot foul, loss it down. 2nd and 26. Coming your way.
This is a crucial set of downs here. You got to pick up the first here if you're on Kiv. I would look to get 12 to 14 here, make it manageable on 3rd and 4th down.
2 back-to-back unfortunate plays. But after the tip touchdown,
got him.
Hopefully your luck hasn't run out. It certainly did for Andrew right there. Fletcher Cox never stops fighting.
Absolutely, and that's what he expects. He expects him to make one play like that a game or a couple plays like that a game, and that's what changes the game.
Bunch to the right. Hall.
Let's go. Come on.
Works it up the middle. And here's a 4th and 28. You got to get your boot out.
And that second down play was crucial because Kiv was going to have a guy wide open, but Fletcher Cox came in at the perfect time to get the sack.
So with 3:33 here left in the 3rd, he'll kick it away from his own 30. And this won't get out of bounds. Pat Pete's going to have some room. Can't get a block. And the drive will start at the 29 for D. Croft.
If you're Young Kiv, you haven't shown that you can really slow D. Croft down, but you got to limit the big play. You got to hold him to 3 here. Let him, even if he gets into the red zone, just hold him to 3. But D. Croft's giving you some free plays back. You know, D. Croft's passing the ball phenomenally. Why waste that down? You know, I mean, these guys are some of the best passers in the world. I don't like seeing them waste that down at all.
It's been the yards after the catch. It's been the success for D. Croft. And there's Cooks laying out for him at the 45. Popular animation. 6 for 6 for 137 for D. Croft.
Just playing phenomenal. Just playing phenomenal on offense.
Brings up a 1st and 10. Leading by 4 here in the final. This would be the biggest win of young D. Croft's career. Hands it off to Bo Jackson. Cuts it back. Has some room to the outside. And he'll rumble down to the 29.
I would really like to see D. Croft just go straight at that Brandon Wilson. Brandon Wilson is a super budget player. Good chance you're going to break that tackle with Bo Jackson, even if he does get a hold of you. I don't like you slowing down there and giving the defense a chance to catch up.
Even if he just ran straight, he would have probably picked up 5 or 6 more yards. Even if Wilson's able to make the tackle. Hands it off to Bo Jackson, and he's stopped in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of 5.
I like seeing Kiv switch the defense. He wasn't getting very much success at all in that 1-4-6. He goes to a 3-4. Going to be in a blitz heavy package almost every down, I would assume.
Sammy Watkins in the slot here on 2nd and 15. Really, him and Brendan Cooks have been the story. Hasn't even had to get Diggs involved. Rodgers. D. Croft able to get free and then slides down at the 25. Definitely in field goal range, and we got a 3rd and 7 incoming.
If you're young Kiv, just hold him to 3 here. You gotta get off the field here on 3rd down.
Just 6 minutes remaining in this ball game. Certainly would be an upset for D. Croft if he can beat young Kiv. Young Kiv on that money list. How about that?
Man.
Up there.
Getting all the money.
Right behind Skimbo. Hands it off to Bo Jackson, and he'll lean forward. Averaging 4.6 a carry, and here's the 4th and 5. It'll be a 41-yarder.
Scott, do you know what I would do to be as good at offense as these guys are? And here you are running the ball on 3rd and 7 when you can put the game away. You can put the game away if you get 7 points, and you're running the ball on 3rd and 7 like you're serious Mo. Air that thing out, man. You're one of the best passers in the world. Go win the game.
He might head to the 4th here. Now he's going to kick it up, and it's good. And we got a 7-point game. Put your 4s up here in the final. Young Kiv is going to need another comeback to have an opportunity to repeat. Or can D. Croft stand tall here with 5 minutes to go?
If I was Kiv, I might go back to that sweep look with Dante Hall in the backfield. It looked like you were having some space there almost every time with it. Try to get a cheap one with a lot of clock left, and I think that's what we're going to see here.
1st and 10 at the 23. Needs to find pay dirt to tie us up. Kiv.
Got him.
Looking to the side. Torrey Holt, possession catch. He'll get down at the 43. That's a quick 20. That's what young Kiv does. That's his bread and butter for the last 4 years. That'll bring up a 1st and 10.
I think this drive is going to come down to whether or not Fletcher Cox makes one of them plays.
And Andrew Luck able to get away. Escape artist before the escape artist. Just ducks under that one and able to actually pick up 3 yards.
Pretty lucky play there for Kiv, staying ahead of the sticks. You don't want to get to a 2nd and 15. It's a really big broken sack.
Needs a touchdown on the drive. A field goal just won't do it. And wide open. It's Hall, and then gets it caught in a crazy animation and drops the football. What a big hit.
Yeah, that almost never happens. It's really hard to hit the player when they're in that animation, and Tavares Moore knocks it out.
Boy, Moore tracking back from this middle linebacker position. Great user play. 3rd and 7. And puts it in. A savage interception by Croft.
Come on, get a field goal.
Great defense. You know, he clicked onto a player that was man up to another guy and picked it off. Just great stick work there. That's all you can say. Great defense.
Trying to fire himself up. Knows he only needs about 15 yards to maybe win this thing. And Bo Jackson's going to get hit by Jadeveon Clowney.
He's lost yards on that play every time he's ran it versus this defense, and he just keeps going back to it. He knows he's not going to gain yards. He's just nervous, you know. And he's a phenomenal player, but that's all that is. It's just nerves. Just go win the game. Play like you're playing online and go win the game.
Brings up a 2nd and 16. Pushes him back to his own 44. Got to take this clock all the way down. It's got to be your best friend right now as it ticks away. Rodgers swings it outside. Bo Jackson and Dion on the initial hit, and then Wilson able to bring him down.
Croft isn't comfortable versus his defense at all. You can just tell. I don't know if he hasn't played it very much, but you can just tell he's a little bit slow on his reads even. He's just not comfortable with this defense at all. Great mix-up by young Kiv. We'll see if he can get off the field here on 3rd and 14.
The back of his head, he's got to be thinking, don't throw a pick 6.
Absolutely. And I know Kiv's thinking, why didn't I start out the game in this defense? You know what I mean? Because it's clear that Croft isn't as comfortable as it is versus 146.
Boy, Sammy Watkins, no one matched up on him.
All this is young Kiv hoping the pressure gets there before somebody leaks open. Sending 7 guys. The most Croft can block is 7, so we'll just see.
Big 3rd down. Here they come. Able to pick it up.
Great defense.
But Rodgers can't get rid of it. And LT, the legend, comes up with a big sack. And we're headed for the 2-minute warning.
And if you're young Kiv, you're feeling like if I score, I feel like I can stop him now. You know, you've stopped him 2 possessions in a row.
You can catch all 32 Club Championship Series finals out there on YouTube. Check out the Madden Competitive Gaming channel for all those VODs. You're going to want to watch this one again. This has been fantastic. And he's going to be forced to punt it away.
Looks like it's going to be a pretty good punt.
Got the distance. Can he get it out of bounds? It looks like it's so. And
Whoa. Bro, it says he's on the 44. It's a glitch in the game. If you catch the ball when you're going out, like it puts you on the opposite yard line. The ball's on the 6. Well, I want to restart. Thank you.
You heard the conversation Croft having with one of our admins. Ball should be on the 6-yard line with 1:55 to go. So that's going to be at a technical timeout. Here, while we get a little bit of a ruling, it's 17-10 with 1:55 to go. The ball was punted from the 44-yard line, and it's reading that he is on the 44-yard line as well. So let's see. We got old RG out there, Steve, a couple other guys taking a pick, and at some point you got to make sure that that's what it actually is happening, that you didn't have a quick pause there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would go into the game and just make sure it's just not a visual thing. You know what I mean? Make sure that he's actually at the 44. I would unpause just to make sure and have him come out and play.
If you're going to reset the game up anyway, why not take a peek at it?
Yeah, of course.
To make sure that he's there. So.
And he is at the 44.
And that's where it's going to be. So
we're going to have to.
Certainly, that's going to have to be a restart situation, because
he caught the ball at the 9-yard line. He shouldn't be at the 44.
Yeah, so they're going to have to even look at the replay. I don't know if that was the 9 or the 6, somewhere down there.
Somewhere down there. It was.
I mean, it's a huge. I mean, this is the moment in the ball game here, so you got to get this right in a 17-10 ball game. I mean, this is the game-tying drive potentially for young Kiv, and they're certainly going to need some time to reset that up and be ready to go. But Croft has played well. And so, they're going to have to take the game. They're going to have to basically set the scenario all back up to exactly where we are, the score, where the ball is, how much time is available, and you've been through these moments many times.
Oh man, these are the worst moments. Whether I'm Croft or I'm Young Kiv, it's a really tough moment. You know what I mean? Because you just want to play the game, and it gets tough. So this is kind of an advantage to Young Kiv, though. He gets time to just think about what he can do on offense. He's going to have this drive regardless. He's got to put a drive together. That's all that matters.
And it looks like we're going to have a reset incoming here. Trying to figure out what RG and the admins are talking. I mean, that's the only scenario at this point in the 17-10 ball game. Croft has been fantastic. Young Kiv has had a few plays certainly go his way for those 10 points. It hasn't been an easy 10 points for Young Kiv, as Croft has looked fantastic.
Absolutely.
And certainly this is a situation that you want to get right with so much. I mean, we're not even talking about the cash, but just the overall, the Seahawks belt and course moving on to represent the Seahawks in December. So we're going to make sure everything gets set up and right in the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Both these guys really want this. You know what I mean? And what can you do? All you can do is get back into the game and see what happens. You gotta get the situation exactly right. We're gonna have to get it all the way to the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. You know what I mean? 17-10 ball game. That's all that can happen in this situation.
So Croft with a touchdown lead here during a technical timeout, and it's certainly something that is not going to happen in the next 30 seconds. I mean, it's going to take a while for them to reset this up.
Yeah, absolutely.
See Croft trying to get focused in here, and of course RG's making his way back onto the stage here to make sure we get an official ruling. So they will reset it up, and this is what we're going to have to take a look at it. And this is somewhere between the 6 and 7 yard line where Dante Hall stepped out of bounds. So 6-7, however close you get it with 1:55 to go, that's going to be the scenario that they're going to have to recreate in a 7-point ball game. They have 1:55 on the clock for Young Kiv. They have to, everything.
You have to go all the way to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how many timeouts were available, all that kind of stuff is going to have to be set up. You're going to have to reset up all your rosters, audibles, everything. It's almost like starting the game over. You just have to get it, back to that very moment. And certainly, I like when the drama gets added, but this is something where both these players have to go through. And it's been a great journey up to this point. No doubt about it for both of our competitors. They have grinded through the Seahawks Club Championship. And Croft trying to hold on here against Young Kiv. And this is how we got to this very moment. These low throws, the extra yardage, the yaks, yards after the catch, as Sammy Watkins started things off.
Yeah, and that's the difference between a good offensive player and a good passing player and a bad passing player. That low pass, I probably would have just thrown it there and got tackled immediately, but he low balls it and picks up a touchdown, or 40 yards.
And this is another one, 40 yards after the catch, all the way down for the touchdown. You see the reaction there from Kiv. No one's home as Cooks walks into the end zone. And then this was the play that you thought Kiv should maybe run a bit more often, a couple wheel routes here.
Yeah, absolutely. But Croft started to man up his running back, and Kiv's running back isn't good enough at route running where he's going to beat those linebackers or even slot.
And how lucky is this?
Yeah, it's the luckiest play in the game. It's the biggest play of the game, really. Kept him in the game, and then Croft just kept playing great defense, kept holding him down.
Well, that would be the drop from Dante on 3rd and 7. And Savage.
And what looked like what happened there is the running back actually beat him, but since he was throwing to another route, the defender was actually in position to make a play on the other route rather than the play on the running back.
Well, sir, Croft certainly has been making some noise this year, and we were able to have D. Croft wired up through the journey.
Sandy! Sandy!
All I need is a little bit of fight. Oh my God, what?
Let's go! Egg, let's go! Come on! Get a field goal!
Well, how bad do you think these guys want it? Locked in. D. Croft. I mean, I would think young Kiv in this scenario has the advantage just from overall experience.
Absolutely. And you know, and he does get to think of some plays. You know, I mean, this is one of the best offensive players in the world. He's going to think of some plays. He knows exactly what D. Croft's doing on defense, but he hasn't found a way to stop it. He's got 20 minutes to figure it out.
Scott Cole and Serious Mo back here at the desk. Of course, letting everything get set up. So while we do, let's take an opportunity to check in with Nick and Matt.
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. Just when you thought you've sort of seen it all, we get another unique scenario over here with Master Gamer. And Matt, for the people at home, this is the second time we've seen a technical timeout. We saw a situation yesterday with Problem. How does this one differ?
Well, the big thing is this is a confirmed, repeatable thing that's going to happen every single time and not at fault to any one player. So, for example, last time, when you saw Madden Elite motion over that receiver on the bunch side to the solo side of the formation, the cornerback kind of super flew over to the other side of the field, and that won't really happen every single time. It's just kind of random. You kind of have to deal with it. But with this, he kicks the ball out of bounds. Kiv tries to catch it. A lot of times when that happens, the ball will be placed at the wrong spot, and you can't stick with that. That is something that needs to be changed no matter what. You can't punt the ball to the 6 and have it placed at the other team's 44. That is a 50-yard gap that it just can't allow to stand.
Yeah, and this is a bug that, you know, we've said it's bound to happen, kept going out of bounds. You heard D. Croft say that it's when you're trying to catch that ball and it happens right as you're going out of bounds. And this is something that a great call by the admins to reset the game state, because you said it, the difference between being out at the 6-yard line and all the way up to the 44 with only with under 2 minutes to go, that could be the difference at who wins this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a great punt, too. Let's just not forget that. That was an incredible punt. That's about as far as that ball would go, perfectly out of bounds to put Kiv on the 6-yard line with 2 minutes to go when you're already playing great defense. That, I mean, a 50-yard gap there when you need 7 and there's only 2 minutes left, that's huge.
All right, now, if you're looking at this situation, you've got young Kiv needing to come back, down by 7, pressure's on him. D. Croft just coming off an emotional interception, hoping to get a field goal but can't do it. Who do you think this benefits more?
You know, it really depends on the person, but because of the way Kiv plays this game and he's such an offensive player, this gives Kiv a lot of times to take a step back. Be like, well, what's really causing these issues on offense? Why is D. Croft getting these stops? You're able to take a step back and try and figure that out while you're being set up here.
Well, this is certainly a unique situation. Let's throw it back to the desk, Scott Cole and Mo.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's no good time for it to happen. And certainly you'd rather have it happen earlier in the ball game than later, just because it's easier set up. We're actually watching on our screens them trying to get everything back up and set to go. I mean, you've been here many times before where you're just, you know, sitting there waiting for your opportunity to get back out there on the field. And it's not a hopeless feeling, but certainly you want to get back out there.
It's like a dragging feeling, and you just feel like, you know, what's going on. And, you know, I don't even like when this happens online. You know what I mean? And at a tournament, it's super tough for both players, but as a competitor, you know that you got to play the game, and that's all that matters.
Well, let's focus on what we do know. 1:55 to go. Young Kiv's going to have the ball at his own 6 or 7 yard line. What's the strategy here? I mean, certainly he's had some plays that worked, and he's had a little bit of a luck on his side, but nothing that we saw was just dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't been able to just put a drive together. You know, he hasn't just had a drive where it just looks smooth throughout. And, you know, that's the thing is, like, what are we going to expect? And in a game where there's a 10-second runoff when you don't have a timeout and you're not out of bounds, the clock is a lot faster. Whereas before it seemed like 2 minutes was an eternity. In this game, 2 minutes is a very short period of time.
Yeah, and if you can't afford to get the ball back to D. Croft, because if you do, I think it's GG.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You have to get 7 points on this drive, and if you're young Kiv, you'll take it whenever you can get it. You know, you're not just like trying to take all the clock. You'll score when you can because you have been playing better defense, and I think you want to be on defense. You know what I mean? If the game is within reach, but I think that if Kiv is able to get to overtime, I think that both players are playing really good defense, and I think whoever is on defense might come away with the game if we make it there.
Yeah, Kiv's had a crazy time in this tournament. Many times going up against K-Mike, giving up long fourth downs. Finally, last year winning it, trying to repeat here. For Croft, this is the biggest 155, minute 55 left in the game of his Madden career to have a chance to move forward. Not only a big win over young Kiv, but you're the guy. You're the Seahawks guy coming up in December. So there's a huge amount of pressure for him defensively over these last 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that's a guarantee is for the Seahawks, no matter what, they're getting a good player. They're getting one of the best players in the world, especially one of the best passing players in the world. You know what I mean? So Croft is a phenomenal player. On this last drive, I'd like to see young Kiv maybe mix in some Dante Hall at halfback, even when he's passing the ball, because I think that mesh post play is going to work a lot better. He's going to beat that linebacker far more often than TJ Logan is. And that other receiver where he has Dante Hall is he's really being wasted anyways because he's just on an out route and there's no one over there.
Well, when we come back, we'll have the conclusion of this one in this Seattle Club Championship between young Kiv and Croft. Final 2 minutes just around the bend.
CenturyLink is your connection to the Seattle Seahawks. CenturyLink, trusted technology partner of the Seahawks.
12s don't just watch games. They participate in them. You've moved the chains, moved the earth, and willed miracles into existence. You've made our team one of the best in the league, and you've looked good doing it. You're not just a fan, you're on the team. So come to the pro shop and pick out your uniform.
Get up, get ready, get my jersey on. First truck in the lot gives you a little bit more tailgating time. The feeling once you get in the stadium is kind of electric. Meet up with some other 12s. Booth under gets your blood really pumping. Flag raiser comes and pumps up the whole crowd.
A lot of excitement waiting for the kickoff.
There's nothing like being at the game. You know you're going to potentially be there for the greatest play in Seahawks history, and it could happen in the next play.
CenturyLink Boost Box is packed with prizes to stay connected with the Seahawks at home and on the road. Enter for a chance to win a VIP home and road fan experience from CenturyLink. Now that's what I call VIP.
Enter to win an exclusive fan experience at CenturyLink.com/Seahawks.
How many of y'all came to win? Never not on my grind. New York City time. The brother better, you will never find. Reporting live from the winning side. Granny try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride? Never try. You will never know. You ain't never tried. Work it out. Hit the gym. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job. You can see that. On my head is real good. We don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes. Taste of the beans, what I do. Looking to throw. He's letting it Juju. And he's got it. Now what I do. Lace up the shoes, taste of the blues. Leave the beats, leave it in the street. Case on the news.
What I do. Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me.
my life. You know me, my dog, stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. Listen, it's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'm a boy, I want for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. Yeah, them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the jet.
Back here in San Francisco at the Seattle Seahawks Club Championship. 1:55 to go during the technical timeout. D. Croft with a 17-10 lead, looking for the upset over young Kiv. And just moments away from getting things restarted back up. And I tell you what, Scott Cole hanging out with you along with Serious Mo. And Mo, I mean, you got to somehow shake off these technical difficulties, get ready to play, because you're a few moments away from having an opportunity, especially D. Croft, for a huge upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? There's still time left in the game. You know what I mean? That's what can't be lost. This game isn't over. You know, it's not like this happened and young Kiv is down 14 with 2 minutes left. He's down 7 with the ball. You know what I mean? This is anybody's game still. So this is huge. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I think young Kiv might be able to put it together. He got 15 extra minutes to come up with a scheme. You know what I mean? With a player like him, it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, if you're just joining us or you need a refresher, here's how we got to this point in this ball game. We had a lot of back and forth early, and I tell you what, D. Croft looked good. Young Kiv certainly has been playing from behind really all tournament long, but D. Croft really has impressed me with these yards after the catch.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I would have liked to see from D. Croft is I think he had young Kiv on the ropes where he could have just put him away a few times. Up by 4 with the ball in field goal range. Plays super conservative on 3rd and 7, runs the ball. And then he gets the ball up 7 again, goes 4 and out. You know, I would have loved to see him just air it out like he did right here for a touchdown. You know, I would have loved to see him just stick with the pass game and try to win the game. I think he played a little bit timid, and that's why young Kiv still has this opportunity to win when in reality D. Croft is dominating.
Yeah, it looked like he was in control. A couple wheel routes to Logan really started to get his offense going. Down 11. Certainly that Fletcher Cox has been in his face for a majority of these throws, but here's the play of the game. Here with right before the half, he's going to throw a pass to Holt, and it just tips up, and Randy Moss says, thank you.
That's as sick as it gets if you're a defensive player. You know, that just is something you just don't ever want to see happen.
And then Hall thought he had it down in field goal range. He would drop it.
And here we see D. Croft adjusting that wheel route.
It's a huge, it was a savage pick by Savage Jr. And then we would certainly have that punt away. That would lead us to this point, and we believe it's going to be on the 6 or 7 yard line with 1:55 to go. They'll get all the timeouts, situations, and just about a minute or so from getting restarted. So let's check in one more time with Matt and Nick.
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. Listen, I grew up listening to Jim Tressel say that the punt is the most important play of the game. I didn't think it'd be this important. You've had some time to think about it, Matt, and minute 55 to go. He's got to go 94 yards. To just tie this game up. Would you like to finish this game on top and be the Seahawks club champion?
I mean, you got to say D. Croft. D. Croft's my guy, but he's been playing some great defense. And to force Kiv to go 94 yards, unless Kiv just made one of the greatest counter plays in history, reading this defense in this time he's had to develop a game plan for this last 2 minutes of the game, it should be D. Croft's game. But again, Kiv is one of the best players in the world. He can go on this money drive. Do you have a money drive in you, Kiv?
And if you're D. Croft on defense, what sort of adjustments are you making to make sure that Kiv doesn't make something over the top and tie this game up?
I mean, you don't want to play too aggressive, but if you get a chance to end this game, you got to take it.
For young Kiv, offensively, you're pinned back at your own 6 yard line. This is not a time that you can really run the ball and give yourself some room. So is the short passing game going to be important, or is he going to have to look to get some chunks back?
It's going to be rough. You're either going to see a max protect play, you're going to see a 5-out quick hitter just to get a couple yards to move yourself out of the red zone, or you're going to see some of that far tight slots, eye wing to kind of get yourself some comfort room off the back of the end zone, because you cannot take a safety right here.
Well, you heard it here first. Let's see how this game turns out. Throwing it back to Scott and Serious Mo.
Well, they got it reset to at least the 2-minute warning, so a couple plays away from hopefully getting things right where they need to be, Mo, in a 7-point game. And to be honest, this is one of the hardest things to do is reset a game up to where it needs to be. You know, even the most experienced players have a tough time getting things back exactly accurate to where they need to be. I'm not sure Croft has been in this situation too often.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, a lot of us haven't. You know, this is a really rare circumstance that doesn't happen very often. And it's tough, but it looks like we're going to be getting back into the game really shortly. So
trying to get it right at the 6-yard line. That's where they want it to be. There's going to be somewhere between 6, 7, 8-yard line with about, you know, somewhere between 150 and 155 to go. And certainly right there, Scott Cole along with Serious Mo. Final 155 about to come your way. Can Croft have the biggest victory in his career, or can young Kiv for the second time tonight have a comeback? Certainly Lady Luck has been on his side.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, this game favors Croft for sure. You know, he's been playing phenomenal defense, and now he's up by 7. Kiv only has 3 timeouts. With 2 minutes, has to go the full length of the field. If you're Croft, you're loving this situation.
Good job there by the admins and the players getting everything ready to go. I appreciate your patience. It's time to find out who is going to be the Seattle Seahawks club champion here for Madden 20 and represent the 12s up in Seattle. Once again, 17-10, 1:56 on the clock, ball at the 6-yard line. Both players have 3 timeouts. Young Kiv with the ball needs to go forever. He needs to go 94 yards to tie this game.
It's go time. You know, it's go time.
So they'll reset their audibles, get ready to go.
If you're young Kiv, you really need a chunk play early in this drive. You can't pick up 10 yards at a time. You need to have a chunk play at some point during this drive. You're going to need a 30-yard gain at some point. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's got to come. It's got to be a 30, 35-yard gain. You cannot afford to just pick up 4 or 5 yards. It just won't work for you.
This is one of those moments like the lights going out of the Super Bowl. I mean, having that extended time certainly maybe favors young Kiv, but for Croft, I'll give you some encouragement. The score favors you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
by 7.
And how the game is played favors you. You've been playing phenomenal defense.
Well, here we go. Andrew Luck will stand at his own goal line.
Formation we have not seen young Kiv run before.
He's going to go spread. Luck steps, throws, and Pruitt.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, Scott. We did not see him in this formation, not one play this entire game. He gets that break. I'm sure he knew exactly what play he was going to run before he even ran it.
Luck.
Going to have the post. He's got him, Scott.
All open, it's Dante Hall. And he's still going.
And And now if you're young Kiv, you went from having no time to having all the time in the world. You got 2 minutes now, or no, excuse me, you got 1 minute and 20 seconds now from his 25, where you were just at your own 6-yard line 40 seconds ago.
A little bit of runoff there, 1:05 to go now. Ball at the 25, 1st and 10 after 2 huge plays by Kiv. Steps, throws, that's into coverage.
Great
knocked away there by Troy Polamalu.
Great defense by Croft right there. You're feeling like you probably should have a stop.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Remember, both players with 3 timeouts. Certainly plenty of time for young Kiv.
Absolutely. You just need to have 1 more first down and then just go from there. Because obviously you're at 2nd and 10. You need to pick up this first down and things are going to get a little bit easier for you.
Kiv will bunch it to the right. Motion out Moss.
I would look for that corner route. The running back route's just a decoy here. I would look for him to roll out right here.
Play clock running down. Kiv.
Got him.
Throw on the move, and there is Torrey Holt at the 9-yard line.
I'm really surprised to see Croft not use his timeouts. You know, I don't know if I love it. Like I said, Croft is one of the best passers in the world. How do you not want to be back on offense?
And he'll hand it off. A delay action to Dante. And he gets all the way to the 4, and now Kiv's got to be careful because of the runoff.
Yeah, Kiv should have called a timeout there. Kiv's going to put himself in a really awkward
He's got to call a timeout before he breaks the huddle here,
I think he will, but I would like to see him call it right away.
15 seconds left.
Actually, I apologize. He's gonna have his full set of downs regardless. That was the right decision to wait for some clock to run off. That was the correct decision, because now his opponent can't get the ball back, and he's gonna have 4 downs anyways.
2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Young Kiv trying to tie it up here in an instant classic in year 4 of the Seattle Club Championship. Remember, they were one of the original 8 teams. K-Mike won it twice. Kiv won it last year.
And I'm letting you know, we're going to see 4 fullback dives here. And it's going to come down to whether or not D. Croft has defense for it.
Second down, he'll hand it off to Hall, and he'll get to the 2, and there's the timeout. 1 timeout remaining.
Uh-oh, Scott. Uh-oh.
A man Stephen Gibbons used to say, it's mom's spaghetti time. 12 seconds to go, ball at the 2. 1 timeout remaining for Young Kiv, trailing by a touchdown.
I'd like to see Young Kiv go back to the near close. I did not like the bunch look. That would not have been a good decision for him. I think you got to run fullback dive twice here.
Could we have overtime out here on the West Coast?
He looks like he put Moss in instead of Dante Hall.
Maybe looking for somebody to fall forward. That big frame by Randy. And he gives it to Moss, and it stood up. He held the door, and here comes 4th down.
For the game.
Final play, final chance for Kiv to repeat. Can D. Croft finally get it done, and he's going to use a timeout. Get those sweat off your hands. Comes down to this 1 play from the 4-yard line.
I would look for Dante Hall out of the backfield here.
Final chance, final play. Kiv's going to be in the gun. The familiar bunch that's won him over 200 grand throughout the years. Luck looking all day. He'll escape artist out to the right, trying to buy time. Looking, throwing. Oh my
God. Let's go, baby! Cut this motherfucker doing this shit, baby! Word to my boy. So lucky.
Oh my
Every
God,
single word to my boy. So lucky.
That was
So
a ridiculous play. That was an insane play.
Needs the extra point to tie us up. That took forever.
It's going to be iced, Scott. I'm pretty sure this extra point's going to be iced. So there's nothing free here.
An iced extra point is up, and it is good, and we got overtime here in the Seahawks Club Championship.
Give me the ball. Finish this now.
And if you're Young Kiv, I don't think you're even mad that D. Croft has the ball, honestly. I really don't. I think either player should be fine with playing defense with how this game is went.
Remember NFL overtime rules. D. Croft goes down here and scores a touchdown. It's over. If he's held or kicks a field goal, Young Kiv will have an opportunity. Take a look at this again. I mean, how many seconds did this play take? It seemed like forever.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get sacked here. D. Croft's player just kind of went clueless there for a minute, and he just stayed patient and just he was open. You know, he was open and just kind of backpedaled into the end zone.
And wow, here comes the heat. LT will sack him up.
I could tell from the moment Young Kiv went to this 3-4 odd that D. Croft was not comfortable versus it. And it's a tough defense because it's really hard to pick up, and you just don't have the routes out there.
But you just need to pick it up 1 time. If you can get one time, it'll be ball game.
Touchdown.
2nd and 18 after the sack. Young Kiv has come back in both the games tonight. Now forcing overtime. Quick throw! And Coach caught it right in front of Ward. And it's going to be a 1st down.
And he got it.
That's insane right there, you know. But if Young Kiv just had one of the most insane plays I've ever seen, so you got to just kind of pick up and play.
1st and 10 now at the 36. Forget about the game clock. It doesn't matter. It's all about the score right now. Here's some motion. Rogers stepping, throwing, and there is Diggs, one of his first catches in the ball game. Forget about the stats that you see at the top. Remember, we had a reset with 1:55 to go. Diggs hasn't been used a lot, but that was huge.
Yeah, D. Croft finally made an adjustment to this defense. It looked like we haven't seen him motion the outside receiver yet. Pretty good adjustment there by D. Croft.
So they'll mark it right at midfield, right next to the Seahawks logo. And right now, D. Croft is fighting. Rogers Stepping, throwing.
There's no way. Bro, why is my dude not running his route right? That's a touchdown. Head, keep your head, you're fine.
Talking to himself.
Both of them talking to themselves. Both of them got each other talking to themselves. You know, this is awesome.
2nd and 10 now. Familiar gun once again here for D. Croft. Sammy comes in motion. Rodgers pump fakes and then throws it deep. And Brendan Cooks has won the game for D. Croft. It's a walk-off here in Seattle in overtime. Mo's give D. Croft another but love.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking
fired it
about.
up.
All right, he can say whatever he wants. I don't know. He must have heard something, misheard something or something. I don't know what he's talking about. But
I love it. D. Croft with a huge pass to win this ball game, 23-17, and his second opportunity to beat Young Kip. This time he finally gets it done. He's going to be representing the Seahawks here in Madden 20, and you can see the emotion. He's giving Kip the business. He's giving Serious Mo the business over here.
yeah, a little unwarranted, but it's all good. You know what I mean?
Hey, you got to be happy for him. The emotion's out there. And D. Croft getting it done in spectacular fashion. And, boy, a lot of balls didn't go his way throughout this game. Young Kiv had some certainly tips that kept him in the ball game, and a great final drive for Young Kiv to force overtime. But D. Croft got the ball first, and he would not give it back. He is the champion, and he's, of course, rocking it with our own Evan.
D. Croft, I've got you. Just speak, brother. I know you've been saying a lot. You got a chance to address everyone on stream right now. How are you feeling? The Seahawks club champion.
Yeah, you know, huge Seahawks fan. Seahawks have been my team for a long time, like my entire life, ever since I moved to Seattle. This tournament was huge for me. Obviously, I didn't go to the Classic because of personal reasons. But to be able to come out here and put on the show I did was a huge thing. For me personally, obviously, like going into this tournament, like I just wanted to prove myself that I could do this stuff. And obviously I did, you know, come out here and win this tournament is a huge thing. Huge shout out to Master Gamer, JCC, placeholder name. You guys all helped me out. You know, I thought I had that goal line stand at the end. I thought I played perfect defense. I had labbed up all of his run plays, and I wasn't able to get it, but when I saw I got the ball first in overtime, no doubt in my mind I was going to score.
You're trusting yourself. It's inspiring, and you obviously have a lot of emotions running through. What's behind all of that? Is just family watching what this meant to you, the time that you put in?
It was really just to prove to myself, like, I could do this. You know, obviously, like there's going to be people watching, but at the end of the day, like, I wanted to prove myself, like, I could do this, you know? And, you know, on that last play, you know, I actually pump fake because I saw, like, the moment I saw it, I knew I had it, and I ended up pump faking. I thought I missed my chance. I ended up still getting it off, and, yeah, you know, obviously just wanted to prove myself that I could do it. You know, I think I missed, one incompletion all game against one of the best players in the game. I felt like I played really good defense, too, so, what a game.
And here's that last play that we're seeing. You bring something to the table that we don't often see. It's the physicality afterwards of these esports events, and when you look at it, it feels like you look like you just got done finishing that play that you did in game.
No, definitely.
What did you see? How did you know that was open right away?
So I don't really want to say why I saw it was open right away, but you know, I was seeing like consistently like the same coverage. You know, I took a sack on the first play too. I was in the second and 18, and then I started to pick up what he was doing there. And I realized like that's what I needed to like. I saw things I needed to do to be able to win this game, and I was able to make it work.
Oh, absolutely. D, I want to talk about the technical timeout because that obviously could have thrown you. But the big thing you talked about in the semi was the way your mental fortitude had to be focused on for this specific event because of the last years. How did that come into play in that timeout?
You know, it was actually like really poor from me, in all honesty. You know, I was listening to game sound, and what I ended up doing was I took my headphones off. I actually heard these guys talking about the game. You know, I heard Mo saying like I should have been more aggressive, and there's things like that. Like I should have just kept the headphones on, locked in. But no, it was definitely a frustrating situation. But when you had to get through, you know, obviously with these things last year, it's something that like we're used to doing all as Madden players.
But did that, in a way, fuel you, even though it did get in your head? Was it something that you then now needed to prove?
I just didn't play the same defense. Like, I knew what was working.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily fuel me anymore to win the game, and I already did. I already wanted to win the game so badly before that desync, but, you know, obviously, definitely, it's just such a great feeling right now to prove to myself why I can do this.
It's an amazing journey that you've been on from being so close for so long. You said 3 games away, so many times in a row.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time,
No
for your
problem.
passion,
Can't
for your
wait to see you back.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be back as well. Let's kick it back over to Scott for some of the highlights.
Go Hawks, by the way.
Of that
Go Hawks.
He's a Seahawks fan. He got it done here for D. Croft. What a final it was. It was an instant classic. As we take a look at these highlights, and I go back to it. I know it's a broken record right now. Yards after the catch was the difference in this one.
Absolutely, and this game was everything we expected it to be. You know, that was one of the best games I've seen, but certainly probably the best game I've commentated, and D. Croft got it done.
He had some moments where certainly he looked like he was in full command of this game and might blow this thing open early, especially on this quick pass to Brandon Cooks. He would be off to the races once again, and just like that, it's 14-3, and Young Kip's thinking, oh my goodness, I got to come back again. And he found this wheel route back-to-back, and that really got him on track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this helped out this drive a lot, you know, but then D. Croft adjusted to it, you know, and that wheel route got taken away, and Kiv kind of struggled there for a minute again.
And then was the play of the game here right before the half. The tip over to Randy Moss says, look what I found. And all of a sudden we had us a ball game, and it come down to the fourth quarter. 7-point game. Dante Hall would drop it there. And then, of course, we'd have all kind of technical issues as we move through this fourth quarter. But what a pick there by Savage. You thought it was over at that point.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the adjustment I was talking about. He manned up that running back. The running back doesn't have great route running, so Savage is going to play that. And then we had the technical difficulty, and Young Kiv found a huge play right here. What, 50 yards?
This was a biblical drive.
Oh, absolutely.
With under 2 minutes to go, Dante Hall would set him up, and then Andrew Luck would find some time and then find his man down there inside the red zone. He tried to run a couple times, got stuff, held the door, and then on fourth down, he draws up a crazy play where it literally took over 9,000 seconds for this final, and you're going to see Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt's RB here. He's going to switch with A and somehow get in there.
One of the most insane plays I've ever seen. He just kind of like backpedals into the end zone. It's just a sick play.
Well, D. Croft, after the iced extra point, with ties at 17, we're in overtime, and D. Croft saw something he liked, almost blew it with a pump fake with a one-hand grab by Cooks, and it's a walk-off here in Seattle. The big Seahawks fan is now the big Seahawks champ, and he got it done by avenging a semifinal loss of Young Kiv a year ago. He beat Swampy Fork 26-0. And then D. Croft with a 6-point win, as you saw there in overtime. And boy, he's getting motivation from everywhere, even said Umo. But I'll go on record that most of the game you were saying D. Croft was one of the best passers in the world.
Yeah, it's fine, though. You know, that comes with the territory almost. You know what I mean? It is what it is. D. Croft played a phenomenal game. I thought he played better on defense than he did on offense. And, you know, he would be a fool to say that he didn't struggle after Kiv went to 3-4 odd. You know what I mean? He did struggle in that game. And I didn't say that during the game. You know, I said Kiv found a little bit of remedy. But that overtime drive, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? He had one drive and he put it together. You know, that's all. That's what Madden's all about. Can you put it together when you need to? And he did.
What do you have to say about him having the headset off during that technical timeout, sort of hearing what we're saying over here, what you're saying about him being more aggressive? Do you think he got more aggressive in overtime?
I would say so. You know, he was at 2nd and 18 and threw a deep route. You know what I mean? Whereas before he was just like checking down to the running back, and you know, I thought he got more aggressive. You know what I mean? So that happens. You know what I mean? He played a great game. He deserved the win. You know, whoever won that game would have been deserving. You know what I mean? That was just a phenomenal game. Both players fought. Both players kept their head into it, and that was just a great game.
So $6,500 going to D. Croft. He will be representing the Seahawks in the championship. Won't be Kiv, not going back-to-back. It is D. Croft time here for Seattle. And to take us home, let's go back over to Evan.
Thank you so much, Scott. The Madden 20 Seattle Seahawks Championship is complete, and what an epic championship it was. That brings our last 2 days of Madden coverage to a close. Each of the 8 clubs of the AFC and NFC West have crowned champions. We want to remind you that December 17th to 20th, the 32 NFL clubs will each send a Madden Pro to represent their team at the Madden 20 Club Championship, presented by Snickers. And they will, of course, be playing for the Madden NFL 20 Club Championship belt. All right, that's all for tonight. We want to thank the Seattle Seahawks for their tremendous continued support of their club championship. We also want to thank Madden League Ops and the EA event teams for their hard work and passion, as well as our entire EA broadcast crew. We will be back next Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday to bring you the finals of the AFC and NFC East. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon for more of the run to the Madden NFL 20 Club Championship.